Hey, this is King Simon. Remember, make sure you go to my website, kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com, or Linktree at King Simon the Numerovation. Get all 4 of my books, and of course, that's the Numerovation for mental stability. Numbers are simple, people are complicated. Numbers are simple, children's health is important, and no promotion is bad promotion. Just spell my name right. Make sure you get them now on all my links. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. Go now.
Rockers Movement presents the 2021 Miami Reggae Festival, healing the community with sound system culture. Saturday, August 7th and Sunday, August 8th, with music by Stone Love Movement, Bass Odyssey, King Addies International, Soul Supreme, Warrior Sound International, Downbeat the Ruler from New York City, King Waggy T, and many more. Hosted by Mutabaruka. Saturday, August 7th and Sunday, August 8th, at the brand new RER Marketplace, next to the Opalaka Flea Market. For more info, visit MiamiReggaeFestival.com. Celebrate Jamaica's independence and sound system culture.
Greetings, one and all family. What's up? Greetings in the name of the ancestors. In the name of your ancestors, my ancestors, all of our ancestors. It's your brother King Simon in the building. All those rounds of applause. I'm loving you. Oh, we're about to set the place on fire. It's It's your brother. It's your brother. In the building. Thank you for the applause. Thank you for the applause. I love you all. I love you all. We're going to have a good show tonight, family. Woo! As we honor our ancestors tonight. Oh, it's your brother in the building. How you feeling? 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 Oh, man. Oh, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good, man. I'm turned up. I don't know about you, but I'm turned up. I'm turned up tonight because I got my brother that's about to come in from another mother and daddy. So we got him coming on tonight. And we got, of course, my co-host is coming on. She's in the backstage. She's on time. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Oh, that means a lot to me. Also, let me just remind y'all, tomorrow we got Dr. Oya Adwa Ma'at coming in, Sisters in Consciousness and the Sciences. So y'all sisters get ready for our sister. And then, of course, on this coming Sunday, want to remind y'all that we got this beautiful sister from out of Montreal, Canada, alternative and energetic medicine with Mama Oracle, Sunday, June the 6th at 9 p.m. And don't forget, this is the calendar. You know what we got. We got KABA up there. We got Dr. Oya Ma'at. We got the Mama Oracle. We got King Randall coming in also. We got Amen Ra Valentine, Dr. Valentine's son coming in. Zion Lex will be here with us. And also Sacred Secret will be here with us. Let's give all of them a round of applause for the month of June. And we are broadcasting, family. We're broadcasting on 4 different networks. We're broadcasting on Facebook. We're broadcasting on King Simon Presents on YouTube. And we're broadcasting also on the Ministry of Numerovation on YouTube and on Twitter. So if you got those accounts, you can go to that and we're going to have some fun. But first, let me bring on my co-host, the sister with the vibes. She's in the building. We're getting ready. You know, this beautiful sister standing and got my back. She's always got my back. Give her a round of applause. The one, the only Empress Aisha Oh, gotta sing that. How you feeling, girl? What's up?
Doing good. How are you?
Oh, I'm feeling great, man. I'm honoring my ancestors.
Honor the ancestors, yes.
How's the family? How's the family? Everybody good?
Everyone's wonderful, yes. How about everyone with you?
Everybody on my side is good. We're having a good time, and of course, how was your daughter's birthday recently? How was that?
It was interesting.
Yes,
it was good.
It was interesting.
It was interesting because she had her little hamster that went to the ancestral realm on her birthday, so that was heartbreaking for her.
Okay, the hamster. Oh, I'm sorry to hear about that.
That was her best friend.
Oh, my daughter used to have a lot of different pet animals, so I understand. She used to have that also, and man, I thought my daughter wanted to be. She said she wanted to be a what you call it? She wanted a veterinarian, right? But every time she had these animals, they kept on dying. She even had a pet rock and they died. I said, "Girl, you need a pet cemetery, not to be a veterinarian. You need to have a pet cemetery." And I used to watch that movie. It was a scary movie back in the day. So she started laughing when I said that when she was younger. But now she just graduated with her master's in electrical computer engineering. So got to give her a round of applause for that. But tell your daughter we love her and everything will be all right. Give them all a round of applause for her birthday and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was a beautiful ending though. So we had a beautiful day. It just started off well. That's all.
Great. Well, now we got somebody coming up. We got to bring this brother on, and I got all of his books, man. We got that one, we got that one, and we got that one. So it's all in the building. But I gotta read this bio. What you saying, sister?
No, I was laughing because you don't be playing. I love it.
Man, I support my elders, man. I buy what I gotta buy and read what I have to read. I ain't playing with nobody. These people, you got to support your elders while they doing what they doing and doing all the great work. And once again, want to thank everybody that's tuning in. Please share, like, and please, there is no trolls in here. And I repeat, no trolls. And let me put what I put down here. What do I talk about these trolls? Again, please thumb up the video.
Thank
Here
you.
it is. Please like, thumb up, and share the video. We got a lot to talk about tonight. And of course, just want to remind you, this is a troll-free zone. Respectfully, this is a troll-free zone. So trolls, please take a stroll somewhere else. That's what I'm saying right there at the bottom. Trolls, please take a stroll somewhere else. We ain't got no time for it. I delete people real quick. Back in the day when we had bullies, we used to have to fight them straight up in the face, you know. Now you can just delete a bully. You want to get into the bullying, we delete your backside. I'm talking about deleting. And remember, please save all questions until we ask for them. Please save all questions until we ask for them. But woo, this person that we're about to bring on, my goodness. Oh, my goodness, my goodness. He's no stranger here, family. He's no stranger. As you can see right there, if you want to contact him via email, that's kamene777 at AOL.com. Also, his IG is KABA Kamene. His FB is KABA Kamene. Of course, his website, if you want to order his products, that's www.kabakamene.com. And also his online courses, if you want to go to that, that's the www.shockmetaphysics.com. And remember, you can order all these books on Amazon or go to his website, KABA Kamene, and check it out. But make sure you show the brother some love. And of course, some of the great books. This was the first great book that we have to talk about, of course, honoring Professor William Leo Hansberry. And then his second book was, as we can see, Spirituality Before Religion. And of course, the third book we're going to be talking about tonight is Shabaka's Stone. We're going to go in. And let me read some of the bio from the back of the book first before we go in about the author himself. It says, Professor KABA HIAWATHA KAMENE is an international 40-year plus Pan-African and African-centered conscious teacher, consultant, administrator, staff development, and curriculum writer who has taught every grade level in the New York Department of Education and State University of New York at New Paltz. Over KABA HIAWATHA's long career in education, he has consulted many boards of education, schools, community, parents, and student groups. He has visited many classrooms around the country and implemented successful strategies in teaching learning processes. He is firmly dedicated to the belief that culture plays a vitally important role in education, and proudly credits many of his academic views to his teacher, world-renowned educator, Professor Dr. Henrik Clark. Shabaka's Stone is Professor KABA's final book in his Trinity, beginning with the honoring Professor William Leo Hansberry, continue with his second book, Spirituality Before Religion, and concluding with Shabaka's Stone. Let's us all welcome right here on the stage of King Simon Presents. Without further ado, let's welcome the one, the only Professor KABA HIAWATHA Kamene in the building.
Wow. Brother King, you are promoter. Excellent, brother.
Yes.
You know how to bring somebody on, man. Let me tell you. Congratulations to you, my sister. Thank you so much. Thank you for this invitation. And to all of the community, thank you also for tuning in. I consider time to be the most precious thing we have.
Yes, sir.
And that you would spend this time with us. I truly appreciate and respect the fact that you've chosen us. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you. Thank you. And like Dick Gregory used to thank everybody, the cleaning lady, everybody he used to thank even the people behind the scene that make StreamYard happen. Thank y'all very much for what you're doing with the platforms. And first and foremost, Barbara, of course, let's take care of some of your business. Of course, we can get a lot of your products on this website right here. That's kabakamene.com, correct?
Yes, it is. You can get my free e-course and my free study guide.
And your free study guide.
Other products that I have if you're interested in various topics. And one of the things that I appreciate about this opportunity is that I can stream things. You know, years ago, King, and to my sister, when we go back in time, First World Alliance.
Yes.
We go back to the United African Movement.
Yes.
You know, we go back to New Jersey's African Echoes.
Yes.
We're going back to the video cassette days here.
Yeah.
So that's how far back we go.
Yes.
And I always told the community that if we can just work with this, and I used to charge a certain amount of money for the DVD, for the video cassettes.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, the first chance I get to reduce the price, I will do it. But right now, this is seed money that allows me to move my program forward.
Yes, right.
And I ask, instead of just asking for a donation or ask you to just give, what I want to do is I'd like to just at least give you a video cassette or audio cassette, something that you can compensate me for. I want to, like Jay-Z say, I'm a business man. And I wanted the community to understand that. And one of the great things about my website is that I now offer streaming my DVDs, which allows me to offer my streams for $1.99, $2.99.
Wow.
Because economically, streaming is a way that you can begin to build your economic background without trying to break the back of the people who you're wishing will support you.
Yeah.
So I kept my promise. I brought the price the moment I got a chance. When I saw what streaming was, same DVD that might be $20 hard copy could be 99 cents or $1.99 streaming.
This
technology, like you're saying, thanks StreamYard and thank all those individuals that have made this possible. Because remember, Mr. Farrakhan once said that the internet is God's gift to Black people.
Yes. Let's give that a round of applause. Wow, that's right.
We can do things now on internet that we could never. Those 3 books that I published, I didn't have to wait for a publisher to come to me.
That's right.
I didn't need an editor. All I needed was good people that knew what they were doing to guide me through the process to be able to develop that. And the same thing goes for our website. There was a time when you were scanned, you could not do anything without somebody's approval.
That's right.
Now we can do this on our own. Look, King.
Yes, sir.
We here right now doing this program. We ain't asking nobody permission.
That's right.
We're not waiting for someone to do it. I appreciate all that made it possible, but we didn't need to jump through no hoops for it.
That's right, brother.
And so I'm just so happy to be here.
That is so. I'm just honored, and you're absolutely right. We are in that age, Baba, and we taking full advantage of it. And also, you do have online classes right there at shopmetaphysics.com. Speak about that. Big up to Mr. Philip Matthews also, please.
Oh, yeah. The tech skill genius. And we have, and it's just not me. Dr. Leonard Jeffries is on there. There's a number of people that offer classes. My class is on here. And family, when you go to the site, if you put the word shock, SHOCK, in the slot, and the monthly price is half. It's $30 a month, but $14.97 if you put shock in the slot. So you get it half price. And we've been doing it 3 years now. I got 3 years of classes on melanin, Shabaka's, educational methodologies. We got things up on the Twa and Booty people, the Kushites. We got a lot of things up on the online class, family. And for $14.97, again, when you look at that price, even when you go back to First World Alliance, when you paid $5 at the door. Well, you had to get there.
That's right.
Which was transportation, train or bus or gas if you drove. When you think about what we paid back then in the 70s and 80s, that is more than what it costs to be on the Shock Metaphysics, even as good a deal as First World was.
Yes, that's right.
Technology has allowed us to bring the price to a point where our community can afford it. Because honestly, if you can't afford $14.97, then your acquisition of culture is not the most important problem you got in your life. You have to work some other stuff out here.
That is the truth. That is the truth. You know, Baba, you're absolutely right, of course, of what you're saying in the sense of how this has transformed a lot of us to connect with people all over the world, all 196,940,000 square miles of the planet Earth, like the most honorable Elijah Muhammad used to say in his lessons. And this is it. This is, I mean, you know, we're now internationally known, to tell you the truth now. You know what I'm saying? It's now international. When we just, at one time, the world seemed so large that we had to hear news from across the seas in 2 weeks or probably 3 weeks. Now we're in an instant, we're learning about stuff across the seas. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Isn't that something? Did you ever imagine all of this back in your day coming up?
Brother, you know, what's interesting is that the principles that we taught are now manifesting themselves. Because as we continue to talk this evening, we're going to talk about Shabaka's stone, and we're going to talk about the waters of Nun.
Yes.
Where all things reside in potentiality. But in reality, the Nun today is cyberspace.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
It's a science. The Nun, which is a spiritual metaphor, really is cyberspace, where everything is contained. And now you got the iCloud up there.
Yep.
Which is the Akashic Records.
Yes. That's right.
So, so word made flesh.
That's right. That's right.
So to answer your question, I did not know it, but I knew it.
Yes.
I did not know it because we did not have the internet, man. We was dealing with video cassettes, audio cassette.
Yeah.
Okay? Exactly. You know, we was dealing with, when I said cut and paste, I meant scissors and glue.
Scissors and glue. That is the truth.
It's a whole nother world now. You know, and also the other thing that I got, and you know, back in 1984, I went to Washington, D.C., and I worked with Dr. Chancellor Williams.
Yes, the great Chancellor Williams.
And he had just gone through a devastating experience where he lost a lot of his materials.
Right.
And I think of flash drive now. I think of Kindle.
Yes.
Okay, this is our library now.
Yep.
Whereas he lost volumes of books. I never knew if it was a flood or a fire. It was just something that took out a lot of his materials that he had collected over the years. When I think of what this is right here, this is our library right now.
That's right. That's right.
And when you think about flash drives, you know, all of my work is preserved in flash drive.
Yes.
It's in the cloud. So if something, creator forbid, should happen, unlike 1984, we can access that material now.
Yes, yes, yes.
And this is a phenomenal advantage for us as a people when we understand, and we'll also understand what Minister Farrakhan meant when he said what he said.
Yes, yes.
And we have access to it, family. This is us. This is ours.
Yes.
Shabaka's stone is the internet.
That's right. That's right. That's absolutely right. You know, Baba, before we move on into the Shabaka stone, I just want to talk about the libation that you poured.
Yes.
Because you said in the preface, William Leo Hansberry, the architect of American Black Studies Department and intellectual libation. Yes. Speak about that briefly, about Leo Hansberry and how important he was to our development into Black studies and knowing our history. Yeah.
Let me put the story in context.
Yes, sir.
So that we can understand why I call it the Trinity. All three books are related. Like I tell people, I don't write because I'm a writer. I write because I have something to say. And I promise people all the time. I even promise my students, my children, kindergarten children, college student, 8th grade, high school. I promise them something. I will never waste your time. And I'll never allow someone else to waste mine. Time is the most precious thing we have. Money, you can get more money. Cars, books, sneakers, houses. You can get more. There'll never be another June 1st, 2021. So how you spend your time is so valuable because that's something you can't get back.
Right.
And so I wrote these books, but Shabaka's Stone was the book I wanted to write. But I knew there were things I had to do, you know, like when you're in school and you have to take a prerequisite course, like you're going to take algebra, so you got to take pre-algebra.
Yes.
there's a course that you take that prepares you to be able to take that course. It'll give you the foundations of what you need to understand. And so what I did was realizing Shabaka, the Neset Biti, or the Pharaoh of what I call, and what Peggy Brooks Bertram calls, the 6th Napatan dynasty, which we call the 25th dynasty of Egypt. It's really the 6th Napatan Kushite dynasty. And so when Shabaka wrote it, the first 2 lines of the Shabaka stone, he explains how he came upon the document. The scribe wrote out that King Shabaka had instructed his scientists to rewrite the work of his ancestors, and to blend the knowledge that they had acquired over the 2,100 years since when it was originally written back in Kush, to that point 710 years before the Common Era or the Christian era, 710. And so, brother, before we do anything as Africans, we always pour our libation.
Yes, sir.
And we honor our ancestors. Just like Shabaka honored his ancestors, I wanted my book to honor our ancestor, William Leo Hansberry. He is a man that, if you're into Black studies, if you're into a concept of African studies, this man in 1922 developed the first accredited African studies program anywhere in the world. He did it at Howard University. 1922. And what he did, and how I came upon that book, was Dr. Clark advised me to do his biography. Because at the time, I was doing a lot of staff development. I was doing a lot of curriculum writing. This is the ancestor who started it. So he said, if you want to get good at what you do, understand the history of what you're doing. So I was going for my master's degree at Hunter College. And I started my work. I did everything I needed. And I got to the paper, my thesis. I did it on the life and work of William Leo Hansberry. Okay. Then I did my second master's degree at City College in New York. And I again revisited William Leo Hansberry, but I was getting my master's degree in education supervision administration. So what I did is I approached my thesis not towards his life and his work, but how did this man in 1922, under the conditions that he was living, be able to develop the first 3 courses in African studies? What did he do? How did he do it? What were his resources? Who did he go to for help? So I returned to DC and I did my second investigational research into how he developed that course. And I took his time basically from 1925 to about 1959. And I studied it. That was my second. That book, The Intellectual Libation, I combined both of my master's theses into that book. Because people need to know who that man was and what he did. This man was a political figure. This man, Italian ambassadors were complaining to the United States government about William Leo Hansberry because William Leo Hansberry dispatched a group of people. One of them was J.A. Rogers. The other one was Ralph Bunch. And he dispatched them, and they came back with a lot of information because J.A. Rogers was the only African journalist in Ethiopia when the Italian fascists were attempting to overthrow the Ethiopian government.
Wow.
He was known as the father of African students. You talk about a Pan-Africanist. He raised scholarship for African students. He raised students for Caribbean African students, for African-American students in order to come to Howard. And when they came to Howard, everybody took his classes, which made a lot of other professors who are well known very jealous.
You know, Baba, a lot of people don't know that he came from the Grill, Jamaica, and a lot of Jamaicans don't know of J.A. Rogers.
No, they don't. They don't understand what that man did.
That's what I was thinking. I said, well, y'all know Garvey, y'all know Nana, you know, Dirty Bookman, you know, but you don't know who J.A. Rogers.
That's it.
That's deep. Why would they remove him out of Jamaican history? That's what I'm wondering.
Well, because the people that are doing Jamaican history are not Jamaicans.
Exactly.
Mentally, that is. Mentally. The
Yes.
same way we're struggling with the 1619 project here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's just the way it is. But you see, brother, for me and to the family, what's important is that when you support King Simon, when you support this program, you don't have to go to somebody else for permission. When you support the work I'm doing, I don't go to them for validation.
That's right.
I went to John Henry Clark for validation. I went to Dr. Ben, Asa Hilliard, Sharsha McIntyre. I went to our scholars for validation.
That's right.
Because like Malcolm said, they are not the measure of human I wish to measure my humanity by. So why are you going to mark yourself according to a deficient model?
Yes.
We must do this for ourselves. And that's what William Leo Hansberry did. I wanted to demonstrate that. I wanted to show the community what this brother did in his life. He was phenomenal. He was Nnamdi Azikiwe's teacher.
Wow.
Okay, the first prime minister and president of Nigeria.
Nigeria, right. Wow.
Kwame Nkrumah used to leave Lincoln University to come to Washington, D.C. to study with William Leo Hansberry, even though he wasn't a student. Kwame Nkrumah studied with William Leo Hansberry. When I went in 1984 to work with Chancellor Williams, one of the main reasons why I went was to interview him for the impact that William Leo Hansberry had on him, because William Leo Hansberry was Chancellor Williams' teacher also. And the one thing that Dr. Williams said that stays in my mind to this very day, when he was attempting to describe what made William Leo Hansberry different from all the other professors, is he said that when you were in Professor William Leo Hansberry's class, you knew that he was vitally interested in your well-being. That's what sticks out as it relates to that interview. He told me a lot of other things also. But as I've attempted to develop and shape my own educational background and how I present myself to people and how I present myself to students, I've often thought about that. And that was my advantage in college. Because I was working with 4- and 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds in kindergarten all day. Or I might be with a 3rd grader. Or I might be with a 7th grader going through those hormonal situations.
Right.
And when I went up there, having worked with children all day, when I went up to teach college, I sort of kind of looked at them like the same children I left. I mean, I didn't talk to them like that, but I saw them as they were my students. They were my children. No matter you 18, 19, 20 years, because you know something, college students, many of them told me over the years, they saw me as their father. I'm talking about college students. And that's the deficiency in education. Because I told my colleagues all the time, look, let me tell you something. You got it made. You want to earn money? Go teach a kindergarten class. First of all, the lesson plans that you develop are totally different because you're only going to keep about maybe 50 seconds attention of a 5-year-old. So you better be part actor. You better be part comedian. You better be a storyteller. Because if you think you just going to talk like you flip your voice in a college class, you ain't going to do that in the 5th grade. You're not going to do that with 4- and 5-year-olds. That's right. You have to be on top of your game when you with children. And so the concept of bringing that to the classroom, that respect and understanding and love for my college students that I had because first of all, most of them that were in my class looked like my kindergarten children, but just older.
Right.
Some of them even acted like that. Like kindergarten. And I say, when they were trying to get over on me, I say, look, let me tell y'all something right now. This is what I was teaching middle school. I say, listen, I just left a middle school teaching 7th, 8th, 6th, and 5th graders all day long.
Mm.
Middle schoolers believe they invented slickness.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to try every game they can on you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they did today. And guess what? Nobody was successful with me. So what makes you think you're going to come up in here and play some games? And they would laugh. Okay, professor. Bring out your work now. Ain't no dog in your thing eating your food. Come on, stop it. But this was the relationship. And William Leo Hansberry had that type of relationship with his students. He really did care about them.
That's right.
He really cared about them. And he expressed that. And those are the 3 phases. That first picture that I believe, if you're looking at it to the left, that's 1921.
Mm.
The middle picture is 1932, when he got his master's from Howard University.
Mm-hmm.
And that last picture is about I would say 59, when he retired from Howard University.
Mm.
And Howard still owed him money.
Mm. Wow.
In fact, I don't even know if his widow, Myrtle Kelso Hansberry, ever got paid for the work that he did. But he didn't care. Because listen, fam, how much do we put into what we do of our own? What is it taking for us to put our own money into what we're doing? Because it's just the way it is. And so supporting this program and supporting the work that we're doing is vitally important to me being able to continue my work. Now, if you support me and you see me hanging out in Hollywood Hills with this big old house, then you know that you invested in the wrong person. But the money that I make,
yes, sir,
goes back into this work to make it better.
Yes.
See this book right here? I just ordered this book.
Melanin. Melanin.
Energy from Light and the Soul's Ascent.
Yes.
I'm doing some lessons on melanin, cosmic melanin, and it somewhat looked like the picture you got there, except it's reversed.
Yes, in the back. Right.
but the concept is, I was able to order that book because of the support that I received.
That's right.
If I need to go someplace, do some work, some research, that's where the finances go.
That's right.
But it's up to me to prove myself trustworthy.
Yes.
It's up to me to present myself to the community where they feel a trust. And sometimes we attempt to make our people believe simply because I say what I say, you should do what I ask. I believe in leadership.
Yes, sir.
I believe that you lead by example. The warriors, the Kushite warriors, Shabaka, Taharka, his father Kashta, his uncle Alara, when they fought the Amu, those brothers, the Neset Bitiyu, the pharaohs, were on the front line. Leaders don't delegate responsibility. They just ask those that follow them, support what I'm doing. I'm on the front line. My life is the first life online. All I'm asking you to do is help me do what I got to do. Otherwise, I'll do it by myself.
Yep, that's right.
That is William Leo Hansberry. And he laid the blueprint. And in that book, I include his blueprint for Black Power. First part of the book is his life and his works.
Yes, sir.
The second part of the book is how did he do this?
Yes.
This brother was a sheer genius. And to this day, the Black Studies programs of the 1960s was based on William Leo Hansberry's work.
Right.
John Henry Clark was a student of his. The people I interviewed for the first part of the book, wow, you'd say, wow, Chancellor Williams, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Kwame. Well, I didn't interview, but I used his eulogy when William Leo Hansberry died in 1965. I used Nnamdi Azikiwe, who said in the eulogy of William Leo Hansberry that it was Dr. Hansberry that initiated the interest in him to return back to Nigeria to lead his people to emancipation and liberation during the African liberation struggle.
Right.
They named a school after William Leo Hansberry in Nsukka, Nigeria. It's called the William Leo Hansberry School of Africana Studies.
Wow. Wow. You know, those that are just tuning in, we're speaking with educator extraordinaire, author. You've seen him on every hidden color, everything that Tariq Nasheed has produced. He has been on it, even to the last one, Buck Breaking. That is another profound film. I did get the DVD and I watched it. Of course, your contribution was extraordinary. And I know y'all got longer interviews before that was produced, but I know you did a great job on that one also, Baba. And I want to show you that respect again, because Buck Breaking was very tight and I respected what was going on inside that. So definitely want to give you a round of applause for that, because that was a strong film. Very strong film, and thank you, Tariq Nasheed, and all that were on it. And before we move on, of course, to Shabaka Stone, this book here, brother, Spirituality Before Religion. Man, this is a book that all religious people should purchase just to get. And you're not even trying to take them away from what they believe and you just want to give them a step foot into what they need to understand about our African spirituality. Briefly talked about that before we go right into Shabaka Stone. Please.
You see, because Shabaka Stone, I'm going to go back and say for the second book,
yes, sir.
This is the next step.
Yes.
I started with honoring our ancestors as Shabaka honored the ancestors, but I grew up Roman Catholic. Choir boy, altar boy. I even wanted to be a priest, believe it or not.
Wow.
Dr. Park got me out of that. But the point is that I respect and understand our people's hypnotic attraction to religion.
Right.
And I look upon religion, in a sense, like stilts that's holding up a house.
Oh, still. Okay.
They're weak. They're weak. But still, that's what's holding up that house. I know our people go through a lot, and I know what Christianity meant to them when they were on the plantation. It was their crutch that allowed them to see the next day. Dr. Amos Wilson once told us that a good organization meets its people's needs and solves its people's problems. A good organization. That is what the UNIA did with the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. That's what happened with the Nation of Islam, with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's what happened with the Moorish Science Temple, with Honorable Noble Drew Ali. Daddy Grace, okay, Reverend Ike. Those organizations were successful because they solved the people's problems and met the people's needs, basically. Christianity, when we were on the plantation, solved our problems and met our needs. No matter what we may view of it, our acceptance of it allowed us to live to the next day, that there was hope. This story of this Jesus the Christ. Wow. It helped our ancestors survive that mental and physical, spiritual attack.
Yes.
And I respect that.
Yes.
And I don't want to hurt our people. Because if I knock those stilts down by telling you what's wrong with everything and this ain't this and that ain't that and prove this, and I'm knocking their house down, it'll crash. What I want to do is I want to put stronger stilts under the house, and the weak ones will fall away. Spirituality before religions specifically is an analysis of some of the major texts that we have coming out of Kemet, written by the Cushites. The Memphite theology, the pyramid text, the coffin text, the Book of the Coming Forth Today by Night, including the judgment scene, the Aten text of the 18th dynasty, and then the rewritten version of the Memphite theology by Shabaka. Now, each one of those texts were written at a particular time in Kemetic history. The Memphite theology, pyramid text, was the Old Kingdom. So I have a chapter looking at that dynasty so that you could understand in the next chapter, when I get into the text, you'll understand how that was able to be done. The Middle Kingdom, with another uprising of African people, came the coffin text. Then crazy ballhead come back into town. 18th dynasty chase them out. That's where the Book of the Coming Forth Today by Night, the Book of the Gates, and the Aten text was written. I have a chapter dealing with the 18th dynasty so that we could understand how that could happen. And then Shabaka stone is the Napatan dynasty, or the 25th dynasty of Kemet, where we examine that dynasty. And what I'm attempting to do in my analysis, I don't mention one religion. I'm not saying where Christianity came from. This is where Islam came from. This is where Buddha came from. I'm not doing none of that conversation. But anybody that reads those texts and analyzes them from an African perspective will understand and know exactly where their religion came from.
That is
just
powerful.
by the way in which I introduce it. And see, my background in Roman Catholicism allows me to understand how I could even there is a there was a part of the pyramid text. This is just an example of what I'm talking about. There's a part in the pyramid text, and they were called utterances. They one called scripture. Scripture is writing. Utterances is the voice of God speaking. Scripture is what you say is divinely put in you for you to write it out. God don't write scripture. God utters existence. Well, there is a section in the pyramid text. There's two utterances that talk about the human in the guise of the Neset Biti, or the Pharaoh, Unas, the last Neset Biti or Pharaoh of the 5th dynasty. It talks about him transforming himself into the bull, and that he is eating the bodies and drinking the blood of the gods. Now, for those that understand the Eucharistic feast in the Roman Catholic Mass, where you eat the body and drink the blood of Jesus, now you know where that came from. I didn't tell you that's where it came from. I just analyzed that particular utterance, knowing that somebody's going to say, oh, that sounds like receiving Holy Communion. And what it wasn't literal. In fact, you know, in the transformation, it's called transubstantiation or consubstantiation. There's two different versions. But this is when the priest utters those special words over the bread and the wine that makes it the body and the blood of Jesus. Because up until then, it's just a wafer, water, and wine. But with special magical words, the priest can transform it transubstantially into the body and the blood of the Savior, Jesus Christ. But what they don't tell you is that the blood, according to our ancestors who wrote this, the blood represents the earthly manifestation of God, and the water represents the heavenly presentation of God. Combined two, that's what makes us the creator having a human experience. It was never meant to be taken literal. It was meant to look at it metaphorically. We are our Savior.
Yes.
And through our transformation. And you know the altar that's in the church? That's the sarcophagus. That's what that represents. It represents a sarcophagus, the coffin, a Asar's coffin. Remember the Asarian drama?
Yes.
Asar is put into a coffin, and the Satan and the Seba'u nail it shut and take it up to Nile or Hapi. But in the church, that altar, an altar is not an altar for offering. An altar is a sarcophagus where those special words spoken over the deceased Asar transforms him into the Son of God, or the Savior in our church is called Jesus Christ. But the real issue is that that altar is a coffin for Asar, but it's the cradle for Heru. The altar is both a coffin and a cradle that brings forward the resurrection of the human being, not just after death, but during life. Because all of these scripture, all of these utterances, all of this writing is not just talking about what happens when you die. It also tells you about heavenly ascendancy to cosmic consciousness while you're a living being. And spirituality before religions ends with one of the most important things that I think each and every one of us needs to understand. And that is, we are now entering into, some people say the age of Aquarius, but Baba Heru tells me, forget about Aquarius.
That's right.
It's the age of Hapi.
Happy, yes.
The female energy.
Yeah.
The female energy, which is magnetism. You see, the male energy is electricity. The female energy is magnetism. Electricity lives for magnetism. And magnetism lives for electricity. Ma'at, the balance of both male and female energy. I'm not talking about gender now. I'm talking about the essence of the electron that circles the nucleus of an atom, where inside you have the proton and you have the neutron. Well, the proton is a female part of the atom. And the electron that is moving around is the male energy. And when you have these two concepts, if you just look at what technology now is working on magnetism. When they're working, they got it in China already. They got this all around the world where trains will move through magnetism. One day, you saw the Jetsons, one day there will be magnetic rails in the air where cars will travel, airplanes will travel. You see these cars that ain't got nobody in it? One day, airplanes are going to be like that. And you ain't going to be no pilots.
That's right. That's right.
It's going to be magnetic. Now, I'm talking about when we get into the next century now. But they're working on this now. China already has it. Cars are going to move on magnetic rails. The age of magnetism is here. Solar power is the future wealth of our planet. Understand that, family. Our educational institutions are not preparing our children for the future. I had one of the finest students in my class in New Paltz. Brilliant, double major. She contacted me 2 years after graduation, the only job she could find, secretary in a veterinarian hospital.
Wow.
Is that what you put all that money into to become? Now, I got money against secretary in veterinarian hospital. That's an honorable job, much respect.
Of course.
Much respect. But when you've paid let's say tens of thousands of dollars for your education, and you've double majored, secretary of veterinarian hospital is not what you prepared for. We're not preparing our children for the future. And I'm telling us, prepare our children for the future by introducing them to solar power. Start by just getting a book on the sun.
That's right.
Just like the image you have behind you.
Yes, sir.
Brother.
Yes.
That's
It's
right.
creating an image. My sister, the circle behind your head.
That's right.
And the way the plants are flaring out of that looks like the sun.
Yeah.
That's right.
You see, you just talk to them about it. What does it look like to you? Wow, I see it. It looks like a sun. Oh, that looks like an eclipse where the moon is passing over the sun. There's a lot. And then start getting into conversation. Teach them about the photosphere of the sun. Teach them about the corona. Teach them about how far away the sun is from the earth. Teach them about the solar system. Start there. Just start there. You can go online. You can get Kindle. They have a free book called Solar Power Demystified.
Yeah.
They got Solar Power for Dummies.
Yep.
I got them all on my Kindle. But you want to know what makes solar power function? Let me tell you one story before that.
Yes, sir.
A A couple years back, I went to Boston, and this was a couple years back when there was a serious snowstorm. I went to Boston, and I was looking at the snow as we were moving through the streets. And the brother that was driving me said, "Yo, you see that? Look at that black sand." And I looked at it, and I saw the sand. It was black. You know why it's black sand? Because black sand attracts light and heat energy from the sun, and it melts the snow quicker. Black attracts and captures light and heat energy. What makes solar power powerful is the fact that what attracts it to the solar panel is a black panel. Still in black. Black folk, melanated folk, black folk are walking solar batteries. When we're out in the street, we attract and capture light and heat energy. That last chapter of Spirituality Before Religions is titled Where We Go From Here. Because, fam, we can proselytize, we can pontificate, we can rap and talk all we want. But if we don't have solutions for the future, I don't care anything about what we're talking about.
Exactly.
We need to have solutions. I call us solutionaires. And a solution to our future is understand that solar power. There'll be no heirs that you could put at the end of your name. AIRES. You ain't no millionaires, billionaires, trillionaires. Our wealth will be so expansive. It'll be as expansive as the energy that comes from the sun. Our wealth will not be able, when you are trying to recognize or measure the size of a black hole, you can't measure it the way we measure things here. Like 1 million of our Earths can fit in our sun. But when you get into certain black holes in space, there are some black holes that are 20 billion times the size of our sun. So you got to measure things by the sun size, not by the Earth size. That's how deep this gets.
Yes,
and
sir.
we were the ones that laid all this out. And
Yes,
yet
sir.
now they're telling us that we illiterate? I'm sorry, we got a problem here.
We got a definite
I was the
problem.
one that taught you how to read. What you talking about?
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
was talking when you was grunting.
Before, family that are just tuning in, please thumb up and like and share this video, because we have an extraordinary educator, man, and an author, and of course, like I said, he's featured on so many documentaries, not just Hidden Colors, but other documentaries. Empress Aisha, did you have a question to share before I get into this Shabaka Stone? Because I want to get into his book here, this Shabaka Stone, because I've been reading through it. It's profound. Go ahead.
I'm excited about that one too. What is the importance of having libations and giving the ancestors, showing the ancestors love?
The basic concept, there's many different ways to look at it. The way I see it is that thanks to ancestral footprints, they sent me the math of our ancestors. We talk about the ancestors. We call their names. But let's say that we were to take, let's say a generation is 20 years long. Some people say 25, some say 30. It doesn't make a difference. I'll just say 20. If you went back 20 generations, it's 400 years ago. 400 years ago is 1621 in our time, 1621.
Yes.
If you went back to 1621, you have 2 parents, 4 grandparents, 8 great-grandparents on down the line. If you went back 20 generations as it relates to how many people are in that bloodline, my sister Aisha,
Yes.
Yes.
and my brother King, and I, and everybody listening, it took 1,047,576 human beings to come into existence to bring each of us into existence.
Mm, mm. The math.
1,000,000.
The math, Baba.
576 human beings from 1621 to 2021. It took 1,047,576 human beings to bring us into existence. And I only went back 400 years. What happens if I take you back to the Twa and Buti people millions of years ago?
Wow.
How many people do you think you walk around with every day in your life? And we think we alone?
Wow.
Wow.
When they dropped the number on me, when they dropped the math on me, come on, numerator.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's why I'm like,
Think about that number. 400
right.
years ago to now, 1,047,576 human beings came into existence to bring you in existence. Let me take you one step further.
Yes, sir.
Sister Aisha, I'd like to speak to you specifically.
Yeah.
And to all the sisters out there.
Okay.
To help you understand why the African woman is the single most enlightened person on the planet.
Okay.
My sister Aisha, when your grandmother was born, she was born with every egg that she would ever have. Those that would be fertilized and those that would go through the monthly process. And those that would never be fertilized or processed out of her body. She was born with every egg that she will ever have. But if that's true, when your grandmother was born, your mother was born too. Because your mother's egg was in your grandmother. But hold on. We have to take it one more step further. When your grandmother was born, your mother was born. When your mother was born, you were born. So now when your grandmother was born, so were you. Think about that.
Yeah.
And that's why we can track through mitochondrial DNA where humanity came from the African woman. And that is why she can produce every type of human on the planet, but no other type of human can create an African. That's just how it is.
Yes, sir.
Think of that dynamic, and then think of your ancestors. Think of the fact that every woman throughout your lineage, for millions of years, you were born millions of years ago. And the same applies for brothers too, but I wanted to make it specific to sisters to understand your line of descent and why there are 3 X chromosomes and only 1 Y. It's just science. And once you understand how blessed you are, when you understand that you walk with millions upon millions upon millions of people who have come before you, I would dare not ever try to do something without asking them permission and for their help first. And that's what libation is. Libation is respectfully presenting yourself to those that came before you, that brought you into existence and gave you your divine purpose. I ask, please allow me to do what I have to do. Some people use water. Some people use gin. Some people use alcohol.
Chills.
Okay. It don't make a difference what you use. It's your words that you are evoking. Because you see, your ancestors ain't out here. When we do libation, it's not like we're calling the ancestors outside to come in. What we're doing by calling them, by uttering them, their names, we are taking them from inside out into the room so that we all can celebrate. Aisha, your ancestors. King, your ancestors, my ancestors, everybody online here.
Yes.
Everybody online here, everybody in the comment, everybody in StreamYard, all your ancestors are with all of us right now. Wherever we may be, whether we on the beach, in a car, in a room.
Yes.
All of our ancestors. And when many come together and vibrate on goodness and ma'at, things happen.
That's right. That's right. Let me give that a round of applause, man. You make it seem so simple, and you bring it back. I mean, it brought tears to my eyes because I got my ancestral altars here, and I'm just looking at them, and they just vibrating in my energy right now. But
that's
you
right.
know, I want to thank you for that, because I'm looking at my Cuban, Afro-Cuban, Jamaican ancestry, like, yo.
Okay. And keep in mind, brother, that altar is a symbol of resurrection.
Symbol of resurrection.
It is the symbol of that which goes before, and that is what's on to. Asar is on the way out, and Heru is on the way in. You know, on New Year's, where you see the old man going out and you see the little baby coming in the diaper, that's where they got that from. That's the old year going out and the new year coming in. That's Asar going out and being reborn in Heru. The altars are not what they're perceived to be, so to speak, from that perspective. Altars are the sarcophagus of those that are going out and the cradle for those who are coming in. When you present yourself in front of your cradle, you are asking the powers of resurrection to resurrect you to a better self.
Yes.
And your ancestors. And there's no special words. Come on, you know. I saw your post, my brother King, where you were with your daughter that graduated with masters. Okay, I saw your post up there.
Yes, sir.
And you know, the idea is like when we ask, like, what do we say to the Creator? Well, I would say, what do I want my daughter to say to me? You know, what do you want your child to say to you? Ain't no big thing, no special language.
That's
right.
We
develop prayers. I understand that. Invocation. I understand that too. But the bottom line, if you just say, yo, Ma, I'm checking you, thank you. You talk to grandma.
That's what I do.
You talk to people you don't even know. You say, look, you in me. I know you there. I don't know your name. I have no idea that you existed, but I recognize that you did. Thank you. Keep on track. That's all you got to do. Libation is a formal ritual. It has its place.
That's right.
But long before we had those rituals, long before we understood that, we still were maintained by nature.
Yes.
And nature loves us. Nature is not complex. Nature is simple. But she's not going to give you a free ride to consciousness. You got to work for it.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
You remember our brother Listerville Middleton?
Yes.
On the origins of things. Sharpen your eyes and tune your ear so you know what you see and understand what you hear. Minute by minute, hour by hour, as you lose your history, you lose your power. So sharpen your eye and tune your ear so you know what you see and understand what you hear. This thing outside that we call Western civilization, that's an illusion.
Yes.
However, that illusion, for some of us, has become our reality. And even though it's an illusion and it doesn't exist, it will exist if their illusion becomes your reality.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Cast aside your white God. Embrace your African spirituality. You are free.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Baba, you are something else, boy. Now, you know, Baba, and again, a well-deserved round of applause. I got to keep on showing that my ancestors are speaking through these applause. This book here, Baba, you and I spoke about it early this last week about the Shabaka'S stone and the African theory on the origin and continuing development of the cosmic universe. Now, I called you and said, brother, I feel that it's a theorem and not a theory. And you said, as you go on and proceed, because theorem is something that is proven.
Yes.
Theory is something that's not yet proven. But as I read through it, and I've been reading through African before spirituality before religion, and of course Leo Hansberry's book, it's a theorem. It's no longer a theory to me. That's what I seen when I looked on the book. I wondered why you still put theory on the book.
Because those forces that would wish to oppress you will attack it. And there is no real way you can prove it.
Right.
The way you made it a theorem came from within you.
Yes.
It was knowledge you had. Truth knows truth.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let people get in my way. And people will get in your way when they say, well, prove it. Were you there in the beginning before the beginning began? No, I wasn't. So how can you say that? And then there'll be people who might have been interested who will become disinterested thinking I don't know what I'm talking about because I cannot prove something that's unprovable.
Mm-hmm.
And so I put theory there so that you would understand that it is up to you to be able to take out the truth from what I'm saying. I don't. The one thing I tell people all the time, my sister Aisha, and to my brother King, don't believe a word I say.
Yep, that's right.
I don't want you to believe me. I just want to make you think. And if I could make you think, then I've done my job. Because too many times we try to convince people. And I'm saying, no, I'm not trying to convince you, because the beauty of science, coming from the word scient, which means knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
The beauty of science that I enjoy is for scholars and minds to get together and put their work on the table. Dice it up, chop it up, take it apart. I'm not looking for my way. I'm looking for the way.
The way, yeah.
Not my way. I'm not trying to convince people or make you believe me. I'm just putting my information on the table. You see how extensive my bibliography is?
Yes, sir.
My footnotes, my end notes.
Yes, sir.
That's
yes,
to let you know where I got this information from. It doesn't mean that it's true. It just means that's where my source of the information was. Now it's up to those that are interested to go to that information. And then for them to be able to analyze what it is that this information is saying, and then cross-check it with what I said in the book.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't get caught up with theorem and theory with people, because that's the trick of Western science.
Yes. Yes.
Their stuff is theorems. Our stuff is theory. And where I'm coming from is I'm going to start off by telling you, don't believe a word I say.
Yes.
So it don't make a difference if I'm calling it a theorem or a theory. And that's because, I'll tell you something else. My experience in the Board of Education with the great majority people of European descent, but there was a dabbling and a dashing of African Americans too, and people of other cultures, that when I would teach them certain things that are established facts now, they gave me all sorts of trouble. They got in my way. They started arguments, anything through cognitive dissonance, not to have to examine. Even if I'm telling the black person that you're great, if the society told you that you're worthless, you feel comfortable being worthless, and you're going to argue with me when I say that you're great. That's how deep this psychosis gets.
That is that deep.
Yeah.
That's how deep it gets. And I don't have time for that, Aisha. I don't have time for that, Brother King. Aisha, I don't have time to be arguing with these people. I'm too busy trying to get books in your hands.
That's right.
I'm trying to get this information into your hands. Don't cloud me with your stupidity, because you stuck in stupid.
Yeah.
That's right.
I ain't gonna argue with you.
Nope.
Malcolm said, you are not the measure of human that I wish to measure my humanity by. And this is how we have to start thinking. We must validate ourselves. But before we can validate somebody else, Michael Jackson said something in his song, Man in the Mirror. And I would also say Woman in the Mirror. Because before you try to change anything outside yourself, you better change that person you're looking at in the mirror. You lead by example. And from there, other people will say, you know, this brother always talking about how great it is to be African. But some of us are always complaining. So people are looking at that, they're saying, but wait a minute, if it's that great to be African, why are you always in a negative tip? Why are you always in a negative mood?
Yeah.
I want to show our children being African is celebratory. It's wonderful.
Yes.
Things happen when you're African. I'm proud of myself. I love myself. I respect myself.
Yes.
And because of that, I can achieve anything I set my mind to, and nobody's going to stop me.
That's right.
Each of us is born with a Judas and a Messiah.
And a Messiah. Yep.
Judas's job is to make sure you don't reach your divine destiny. The Messiah is there to make sure you do. The Messiah may fall 9 times, but Messiah rises 10. Judas is trying to stop you from rising.
That's right. That's right.
Your biggest enemy that you have is your Judas. Once you defeat Judas, everything else outside, European supremacy, so to speak, I call it fragility, all those things outside of ourselves, all those trials and tribulations, those are not your enemy. Those are your obstacles. And obstacles are there for you to get over, to make you stronger.
Yes.
So when you run the obstacle course, for you to jump over, you have to strengthen up your legs. So put an obstacle runner next to a runner that runs straight dash. There's a chance that the obstacle runner going to run faster because the obstacle runner has had to prepare harder to jump over the obstacle. Whereas the one that runs the straight dash doesn't have to develop those muscles because they're running straight. Character is built during times of conflict and controversy, not during times of comfort and convenience.
Yes.
Anybody can do the right thing when it's easy. But only a very special person can do the right thing when it's hard.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Those that are just tuning in, family, I just want y'all to make sure y'all take his classes, his online classes with with Professor KABA. You can go to www.shopmetaphysics.com. That's shopmetaphysics.com. And you can join other great scholars that's also on shopmetaphysics.com, that Professor Dr. Jeffries and various other, I think Professor Smalls is also on there also, right?
There are certain interviews that he has, yes.
Yes. And also,
there are counselors, there are people interested in economic development. All of those classes are on Shop Metaphysics.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And of course, this is his website. Order his products, his DVDs, and all of his free stuff that he has to offer. Of course, he also gives and offers curriculum for free too to help you out. Also, go to www.kabakamene.com. And Baba, in the book, and I'm going to jump around a little from different segments, but in the first chapter, you say African philosophy allows students to appreciate knowledge, i.e., art, ethics, science, philosophy, and spirituality from their own cultural common sense and perspective. Now, the young for today to finally get this, because in the schools that we have today, they're not teaching it like you're saying here, the arts, science, ethics, science, philosophy, and spirituality. In the charter schools and in the public schools, they're not doing that. How important it is for our parents or the parents to at least try to do some homeschooling, even while they're sending them to that school, because I know Jewish people do the same thing. They bring their children back and teach their children. What do you say to that, brother Baba?
That's exactly the point, brother. When you have that baby in the crib and you have that mobile that's going around, you got those bears and all the rest of that, you ought to have ankhs up there.
Yes.
You should have symbols of Heru up there. Image from the very beginning, colors. The sensory perceptions should be there with the child from when they first come out of your womb. And so image is everything. And the system is not going to teach it like this because they don't know it themselves. They don't know this. They don't know holistic. And so what I do with parents when I go into communities, like I'll be going to the Freedom Home Academy to speak to the community in Chicago next week. Freedom Home Academy is one of the finest examples of African education at its best with Brother Marcus Klein.
Yes, my brother. Yes.
And he's having activities. He's having a graduation, and then he's having a dinner, and I'll be doing a book signing.
Good.
And I've worked with him over the years, and he has worked with his own school over the years in developing parental involvement. I went out there for a week one time and did extensive staff and community development. During the day, I work with the staff. At night, I work with the community, the parents, to explain to them holistic education. What is holistic education? And this is what we have to do. And as you said, when my own children were born, I was their first teacher. Their mother was their first teacher. They knew that from when they were first born. I used to always tell them, I'm only sending you to school so you socialize with other human beings. I'm your teacher.
Exactly.
And so I developed a course of understanding that complemented what they did during the day. If they were counting, they counted ankhs with me. Jed columns, statues, Ghanaian Adinkra symbols,
Mm.
The pictures that we had were of them. And they always knew around the holiday season, okay, you want Santa Claus? Okay, well, let's get that black felt pen.
Mm.
Okay, because I blackened everything. If you ask my children today, they'll tell you I blackened everything.
Everything was black.
Everything was black or brown. Everything. We used to paint it. That was one of the activities. And I would say to my children, I say, you know why we're doing this? And they say, well, in the beginning, when they didn't know, I would say, because everything returns to the black.
That's right.
After a while, they said, Daddy, we know why we're doing this, okay? So we don't have to ask.
You know, Baba, that reminds me of a joke that Paul Mooney said, our great ancestor who I've worked with before a few times. He said, you know, the toilet was supposed to be black, but black folks created it white purposely.
Yeah.
I said, Paul.
Okay, there we go. Paul Mooney, boy. That's another story.
That was my brother, man. I brought him into Brooklyn. I think that was the first time in East Flatbush ever. And I brought him to CPAC in 2013. It's on my YouTube channel. And
I saw it. He was trying to get over the way you brought him on the stage.
Yes. Because he told me to let that lady bring him on. And it was so funny, man. And he talked about polite. He talked about polite, like, because he said polite could talk. He said he need to get that Bible. He said that nigga could talk. He gonna make that money with that Bible.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, polite was funny. Polite opened up for him. But Empress Aisha, do you have a question for our Baba, please, before I go on?
Thank you for that. As far as the ancestors, because you know the way you have broken it down, and then how you brought it back to the females, and it really touched me. You know, it really made me see things. Like I heard about them. About having you born with your eggs inside of you, with with those that you're supposed to have in the future. But the way you said it just made me feel like we have to teach our children about our history and their greatness, because while we teaching them, we also and simultaneously are teaching the future. And not just we see our children as our future, but our children are also carrying the future in the present moment, the moment that they're conceiving and born into this world. So that was very, I wanted to just say thank you for that, because that was very eye-opening, and I'm ready to just get off and go start talking to my daughters right now and start saying some stuff to them, because it's like I want to make sure that they create their own altar and to understand the deepness of it, because I feel like by them doing that, they also are, training their children in the future to come and so on. So that's just really powerful.
Yes. And my sister Aisha, when we study African education and society itself, the society that was working basically from 18 to maybe 60 years of age, the working class of the community, their ultimate purpose was to make the children better than them.
Yeah, that's right.
Not like me. When my grandson says, Grandpa, I want to be like you, I say, no, I want you to be better than me.
Exactly.
Yep.
And if you're not better than me, then I'm not doing my job.
That's right.
My son needs to be better than me. And everything should be shaped and geared towards excellence. And you don't play when you work, and you don't work when you play. You work hard, you play hard, you deserve it. Enjoy life. And don't let this corrupt, contaminated Western civilization ever take you away from your divine purpose, whatever it may be. You may have to work for FedEx. Nothing wrong with that now. But some people love FedEx working. Some people enjoy being a nurse. But I've known nurses that are very good musicians. I've known many people whose divine destiny is not how they pay their bills. You're blessed. I am blessed to do what I do. because I'm doing what I was born to do. I'm motivated by it. I'm excited by it. I can speak for a while and people say at the end, "Oh, you must be tired." No, I'm energized.
Yep.
I ain't tired. I'm energized. Now I'm ready to tell you what I came here for.
Yeah, yeah. He told me specifically that the later the better.
Yes, that's it. That is it.
What do you mean by that?
I'm a night owl.
He's a night owl.
Okay.
Yeah,
I operate at night, and that's how the Dogon were able to do what they did, because the Dogon people, and I spoke to Dr. Van Sertima about this, and he was talking about the Dogon people, the astronomers, even in Kemet, same thing. They operated at night only. They went into the cliffs, into the caves, and so they did not see the light of day. They spent their life in the dark. As you know, if you're in a room and the lights are out and somebody turns the light on, you got to close your eyes. Because your iris has to reduce itself to a quarter of its size to allow light to come in. Because in the dark, your eye opens up.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when you live in the darkness all the time and your eye is always open, that is what a telescope is built on.
That's right.
Dogon's eyes were telescopes.
Okay.
So you can see things that even the most powered telescopes can't see today. That was what astronomers did. I come from a family of night eyes. My father worked in the post office 44 years, always a midnight shift. My grandfather, his father, from Alabama, worked on the railroad, always at night. So it's obvious that my biorhythm is when melatonin is released through my pineal gland and not serotonin during the day. My biorhythm is night, but I had to retire from the Board of Ed before I really figured that out.
Yes.
Because naturally my cycle changed. Now, even right now, I go to bed sometimes 8 in the morning. Get up about 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
Man, that sound like me in the nightclub, son.
Say again?
That sound like me when I was in the nightclubs.
That's it.
All night and then go to sleep in the morning.
That's it. That's what my father did when he worked in the post office.
Wow.
And see, my thing is that I'm at my sharpest at about somewhere between 3 and 4 in the morning. That's when I wrote my book.
Oh.
Wow. That's true.
But as human beings, we don't know our biorhythm. See, because if we were back in the community, the elder brother would have said, KABA, he's going to be an astronomer, or he's going to be security, or he's going to be the caretaker of the jackals. Because they had the caretaker of the jackals that knew how to handle jackals, because jackals, being the way they are, they invaded our villages and communities at nighttime. Because they would take advantage of us when we were asleep. So you had a caretaker of the jackals, or what we might call the hyenas, who would not kill them, but would care for them and would make sure they did not get into the community. They knew how to treat the hyenas, where the hyenas could stay alive, but you ain't getting up in here tonight.
Like that.
Baba, that leads to my next question in regards to that night owl that you speak of, because you say in your book about intuition. You said intuition is closely connected to a higher form of knowing knowledge that goes beyond the emotional and passionate sense or feeling. It is a form of immediate knowledge, a means by which knowledge is gained without having to reason or think about it. The right decision is made naturally. Now, while you're doing that in the darkness of the night, is your intuition heightened at that point of time, during that point of time?
There's no question. Just like somebody's intuition could be raised to higher levels during the day. You got to find your biorhythm. Some people are like it may not be my time. Like I tell you, I go to bed at 8, I get up at 2 or 3. Right. Some people might go to bed at 6 and they get up at 1 or 2. Some people might go to bed at 5:30 in the morning and they get up sometime the next day. So everybody's biorhythm is different. You just got to find your biorhythm. And everybody's biorhythm alters according to your body makeup and how your glandular system disperses the liquids within your system. And so, yes, I'm at my peak at 3 or 4 in the morning. I'm vibrating with the cosmos. Some of my thoughts come directly during that time, but we must know ourselves, self-knowledge. And even though your biorhythm may be at night, but you got to work during the day, at least you know your biorhythm.
That's right.
You need to know yourself.
That's right. That's right.
And develop your life around your body. I'm blessed that I am in a point now where I can choose my time.
Yes.
When I was in the Board of Education, I was getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
That's right. That's right.
To get myself ready, to go to work, to do what I had to do. Sometimes I'd come home. I wouldn't go to bed until 1 or 2 in the morning. I was off my rhythm.
Yes.
I tried my best, but I was off my rhythm. Now I understand why. In the summertime, much better. Because then I became a night eye, but I didn't know I was a night eye.
Yes.
Yeah.
I recently found out within the past 10 years since I retired, I figured out, wow, I feel so much better at 3 in the morning. And these ideas are just flowing through me. You know, there was time my hands wouldn't move quick enough for me to put the ideas down.
Yes. Yes.
And there's other time when I'm just sitting there saying, now, what am I going to say now? And you can't beat yourself up, though. That's the other thing.
I was going to ask you that.
You know, when we have writer's cramp, and we can't get, there was 4 months when I was writing Spirituality Before Religions that I had a writer's cramp. I could not write. I was wondering why. And then all of a sudden, family, I wrote the first chapter, which was the libation to the ancestors.
Wow.
The moment I paid tribute to Sheikh Anta Diop, Jacob Carruthers, Asa Hilliard, and John Henry Clark, it only took me 4 months to complete the book.
Wow. Wow.
And I didn't beat myself up. I didn't frustrate myself by trying to do something that my clock just wasn't going to do. I found something else to do that was as constructive, but it wasn't writing the book.
Right, right,
Wow.
right, right. Those that are just tuning in, we're with Professor KABA Kamene, our guest for this evening. Remember, if you want to contact him via email, you're more than welcome to contact him at Kamene777 at AOL.com. His IG page, you can hit him up. He does answer his IG page at KABA Kamene, and Facebook, that's KABA Kamene also. But please go to his website, that's www.kabakamene.com for his products and all the free stuff that he has to offer also on there. And please take his classes. It's worth it. Believe me, I took the Kushite classes. Very good, extensive information over there at www.shockmetaphysics.com. There's something I want to share with the audience real quick. This picture right here, and I want to read something as I put this picture up about KABA. Of course, Shabaka's stone. It says in your book, Shabaka's stone is an ancient scientific text that outlines a variable working theory concerning the origin of the cosmic universe and the development of the human brain and the emergence of African philosophical, scientific, and spiritual wisdom and knowledge. The wisdom, like the cosmos, was perceived to be a forever evolving process of becoming. So, Baba, explain this stone right here and all of this that you have in this book. This is all this wisdom is coming out of what you've shown this picture here. Is that true, Baba?
That is it. That is the rewritten version of an older document. Those top 2 lines that you're looking at,
yes, sir.
That tells the history of how Shabaka came upon the stone and how he ordered it to be rewritten. He considered it to be the great work of his ancestors.
Yes.
Now, think of this.
Yes, sir.
When the Memphite theology was first written,
Mm-hmm.
And when Shabaka rewrote it at 710 BC,
Yes, sir.
okay, that's one block of time. Now think of when Shabaka rewrote it and June 2nd, 2021. That's a block of time.
Yes.
If you overlap these two timelines, more time elapsed between when it was written and when Shabaka rewrote it than when Shabaka rewrote it and today. You're basically dealing right now with give or take 2,700 years between when Shabaka wrote it and today. Basically 700 to 2,000. Let's just round it off.
Yes.
But when this document was written, you're going back 4,000 something.
Yes.
And then 710. Now, when you look at that span of time from 4,000 something to 710, and then from 710 to 2021, Shabaka was paying tribute to ancestors older than we are honoring Shabaka today. So when he talks about being a work of the ancestors to be preserved for all time, because he's saying that they came upon it in Hikupatal, what we today call Memphis, and it was written either on papyrus or it was written on leather, because they carved on leather too. But it was worm-eaten. And in that document, he's saying, because it cannot be read from beginning to end, I am ordering my scientists to rewrite it and to add the wisdom that has been gained since when our ancestors first wrote it. Shabaka's Stone, as the book that I wrote, is the same thing that I am doing. Just like I paid homage to William Leo Hansberry, the way Shabaka paid tribute to his ancestors, I'm paying tribute in Shabaka's Stone to Shabaka for rewriting his work. And what I'm attempting to do is to take the work of people such as Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson and Dr. Donald Goldsmith and Carl Sagan and other astrophysicists that have come up with information today. And I'm adding that to the metaphor of Shabaka Stone to rewrite it for all time and space, because it looked like the Shabaka Stone is a little ragtag now too.
Yes. Yes, it does.
And that's not the whole document, by the way.
Right. It's not. Right.
It's a broken off piece. And it was found by the French, where the peoples of the land were using it as a nether stone. You know, it was using it to pound grain.
Yes.
They didn't even know what it was. So the front picture is a bust, a sculpture, a bust of Pharaoh, Neset-Biti. Neset-Biti is what we call pharaohs.
Right.
The right to rule, the one who has the right to rule. Neset-Biti.
Neset-Biti.
That's now, we call it Pharaoh. Per ah, but that's another derivative of what it really meant. And so the front cover of the book is this bust of Shabaka inlaid in the Shabaka Stone.
Okay. Yes. You know, Baba, you mentioned those scientists that you just mentioned, astrophysicists. I studied Neil deGrasse. I studied Sylvester. I've studied Michio Kaku. I got their books. I got Dawkins. I got Green.
Yes.
They're missing something, Baba.
Yes, they are. Africa.
That's what I'm surprised at Neil deGrasse Tyson. I'm surprised sometimes at Sylvester Gates, but Sylvester Gates is touching on it a little. But I'm surprised at Neil deGrasse Tyson, but I think he's being paid to do that, to me.
Well, he's also understanding that he ain't gonna get paid if he puts it out.
Exactly, he ain't gonna get paid.
It's the same thing with Schwaller de Lubitz.
Yes,
Schwaller de Lubitz, the scholar that moved from France. He was a chemist. He moved from France back in the 1900s, and he moved next door to the Grand Lodge of Luxor and studied the wall, which basically was a testament to the 18th and 19th dynasty. All of them were Africans, but in none of his book does he tell you that. He'll show you pictures of them, but he will not say that they're Africans. A student of his, John Anthony West, he is now an ancestor. Much respect to him for the work that he did, but they're not going to touch Africa.
No, they're not.
But guess what? I don't care. You don't have to. I did.
That's right.
And one of the first things I do when I go into any astrophysicist book is I go into the index and I look up A and I look up E, Africa, Egypt. And if you don't have any listing, I can expect something out of that book.
That's right.
It's not that their science is not moving towards an accuracy. It's that if you don't get into the spirituality of science, you will never be able to figure it out. And that's why I don't talk about, because remember what you said earlier about theorem.
Yes, sir. Yes,
but
sir.
you just defined what a theorem is.
Mm.
When you read what I put there, I put that for a reason.
For a reason.
Theorem is a working theory.
Yes.
It's a theory that works, but I didn't say that. And nobody can come at me saying that I said that.
That's right.
That's why you haven't heard nobody get on my case thus far.
Exactly. I know you crafted it very well. I've been reading through it and I was like, okay. And that's why I asked you that question privately off the line, if I can ask that question.
Absolutely.
To be respectful.
That's important, because if you're thinking it, so are a lot of other people.
Exactly. And I remember I told you I met Neil deGrasse Tyson at Brooklyn Academy of Music, and I asked him about a great friend of yours or a colleague of yours, Dr. Oyibo, Gabriel Oyibo, who you know him personally, and I watched you in a young you breaking things down about the grand unified theory.
Right.
And now explain that. And he kind of, when I asked him about it, when I asked Neil deGrasse Tyson about it, he kind of shuffled it off because he was trying to catch his Uber. And my friend, one of my friends who's up top of security at that time at BAM allowed me to get backstage to wait for him. We took a picture and everything, but I had to ask him about Aibo, but he would not say that his theory was wrong or not. He would just say, well, these guys, they want to get, they got to be a bunch of peers and peer review and all that. He just started going all off into something crazy. And I said, oh my goodness, come on, sir. And I just let him jump in his Uber and we finished talking. But speak about our brother Gabriel Oyibo, the one who's still alive. And I know they tried to attempt on his life before, but please speak about that brother, please, briefly.
Gagu, he is the origin thinker for Gagu, the God Almighty Grand Unified Theory. He is a brother from Ngala, Nigeria. He belonged to the Ngala people. And I was first introduced to Dr. Oyibo through a mutual friend that had gone to a dinner party. And my friend came back and told me, he said, I met this brother from Nigeria that was talking about his connection and Nigeria's connection to Kemet, that they traced their lineage back to Egypt. And I said, well, we need to bring that brother up to our district to talk to our community.
Exactly.
So we arranged to bring Dr. Oyibo up. And as and I was filming him, because I filmed all of the things that I did in my center.
Yes, sir.
And as I was filming him, he started talking about a book that he had just written on turbulence. And as he began to talk about turbulence, I began saying, but wait a minute, here's the Shabaka stone coming out. I said, that's Ptah. What he's talking about is the interruption, wavicles, wave particles. Turbulence is what makes it do that.
Right.
It's interruption. It makes you go up and around like an obstacle.
Right.
But in that going up and around, it creates an electromagnetic reality, which is Atum. But I said, wait a minute. After he did his presentation, because he just mentioned the book, he wasn't talking about, he was talking about tracing his roots back to Egypt.
Right.
There was a Nigerian sister in the class, and she began to sing a song in Yoruba. And he began to translate the song that she was singing. And the song was talking about, I came from the great river in the east where great things have been done, which was Egypt.
Right.
And she said for the first time, she understands what she sang, because that's a song that children sing growing up in Nigeria, but they never knew the connection with Egypt. Okay. So, after class, I go to Dr. Oyibo and we start talking. And I say, listen, I'm doing some work on the Grand Unified. He said, you doing some work on the Grand Unified Theory? He said, well, you need to see my next book. And that was the book on the grand unified theory. But this book he was talking about, he was mentioning it in another way. I ordered 2 books.
Mm-hmm.
And them books was $175 each.
It's $200, $300 now, sir.
Yeah.
I already know.
And I bought 2 because it wasn't my budget anyway. So I bought 2. But that's another story.
That's another story.
Yeah, I know how to spend people money.
OPP. Other
Yes.
people's money.
That's it. That's it. So when you look at the grand unified theory, that's the last chapter in Shabaka's Stone.
Yes.
I also mention it in Spirituality Before Religions.
Mm-hmm.
You're dealing basically with Max Planck, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Max Planck, who thought about what we call quantum mechanics, quantum theory.
Mm-hmm.
Quantum theory basically is everything that exists from the skin in.
Mm-hmm.
Atomic theory is a study of the small world, the inside world,
Mm-hmm.
the protons, the neutrons, the electrons. And Max Planck and others, as years went on, developed formulas that answer the questions that come out of the atomic theory.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 1905, Albert Einstein
Mm-hmm.
writes his special law of relativity. The laws of relativity. The laws of relativity, the special law of relativity, and then years later, he would develop what he called the general law of relativity, because he wanted to combine the forces between the special and the general law of relativity. The special law of relativity deals with electricity and magnetism.
Mm-hmm.
The general law deals with gravity, the special, the strong and weak forces, which are the 4 basic pillars of everything that we deal with in the cosmos.
Mm-hmm.
And he developed formulas that answered that question.
Mm.
In the later part of his life, he began to say, well, when I look at atoms and the way the electron goes around the nucleus, the proton and the neutron, that's in the quantum theory. Well, the laws of relativity, the way the planets revolve around the sun, is very much like the way the electron rotates around the atom.
Mm-hmm.
The outer world, the special and general law of relativity, was the outer world from the skin out.
Mm-hmm.
And the quantum mechanics are the laws of the skin in. And he said, but because they act alike, is there one formula that will unite them grandly?
Mm.
And that became the grand unified theory.
Mm. Wow.
It is that formula that joins the inner world with the outer world, the Kemetic proverb that says, as above, so below.
Mm-hmm.
Our ancestors had this.
Yes.
In
Yes.
fact, our ancestors had it better than we got it today.
Right.
And that's
Right.
why nobody want to talk about Africa or Egypt. Because once you do that, you got to give up the baton. You got
That's
to
right.
pass the mic to Africa.
That's
You
right.
got to pass the mic to me.
That's right.
And when I start talking, Black folk will listen.
That's
Because
right.
they see themselves in what I'm saying.
Yes.
See, the Shabaka stone is a metaphor for
Mm-hmm.
dynamic science. But that's why I wrote Spirituality Before Religions.
Mm-hmm.
Spirituality is unseen science. Science is seen spirituality. So when you got into Shabaka stone, you understand this now.
Yes. Yes.
You understand that Shabaka as a metaphor was resurrecting
Mm-hmm.
all the known knowledge. And what everybody's working on now, our ancestors were beyond that in their time.
Yes.
Nobody was better than the old kingdom. That's why the middle kingdom, the new kingdom, and even Shabaka rewrote an older document because everybody, like the hats say, wanted to make Africa great again.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Go ahead, brother.
Powerful, Baba. Professor KABA is here with us, man. We're not going to keep him for too long because I know, time is running. But Emperor Aisha, please, if you have one question before I ask him the last question, because he wanted to get into numbers, and we want to touch that right after your question, please. Go ahead.
Yeah. I wanted to get into dreams. And what is your intake on dreams and how their connection with the ancestral realm?
It's hard to understand where the dream begins and where the dream ends. Because some people say that when you go to sleep, that's reality. And when you wake up, that's the dream. I know for a fact that if you can interpret your dreams as it relates to you, then you will know how to conduct yourself in sleep or awake. And that everything we do is ancestral guidance.
That's right.
You hear the voices that are in your head? They sound like your voice.
Yes.
But that's the only voice you can use because that's the only voice that you know. But that voice really is speaking to you. Your ancestors are using your voice to speak to you. I once asked a musician that I knew, a really great musician. I asked him, I said, do you dream music? See, we dream visuals. So I'm sure that my brother King dreamed numbers.
Yeah,
numbers.
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Constantly.
Right.
Everything that happens relates to numbers.
Yeah.
Okay. You somehow can make that because you think in numbers, like lions. If
Yes,
lions could talk, their vocabulary would have a lot to do with what they smell. Because their life is dependent on what they smell. They are an olfactory thinking people or an animal.
Okay.
If your world is as an artist, your dreams come through visuals. If you're a numerator, then your dreams come to you through numbers or things associated with numbers.
That's right.
If you're a doctor or if you're a lawyer, your dreams come to you in the way that you best can explain it. One way I can explain it is using Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Those, okay, Captain Sisko. That was the finest series of them all.
Yes, yes.
It was better than anything that went before it. It was better than anything that came after it. And they had that wormhole. There's a part in spirituality before religions where I talk about black holes, white holes, and wormholes. And I compare it to the placenta, the umbilical cord, and the navel of the infant that is in gestation.
Wow.
And that wormhole was the residency of the ancestors. And when Captain Sisko would go through the wormhole, that opened up the universe from one section of the universe, like let's say the alpha quadrant, into the delta quadrant, or vice versa. But the wormhole brought you through that process. And that's what dreams are. Dreams get you where you need to go quicker than when you're awake.
Yeah, that's the
Because
truth.
you have access to things in your mind. And in my book, there's pictures. In my webinar series, I did 12 webinars on spirituality before religion. You can go to PhilippeMatthews.com and download them. And I did 4 webinars on race war, and I'm in the process now of doing webinars on SHABAKA'S stone. We just did number 2 this past Sunday.
Yes.
And then the week after, the first Sunday of the month, we do question, answer, and comment in case people have questions about the webinar or their readings.
Okay.
But dreams are as real as your waking life.
Wow.
Yes.
But you see, when you're dealing with the people that know not the creator, you can't talk to them. Because they don't understand. First thing they're going to tell you is that you crazy because you listen to them voices in your head. The condition they find themselves in, I always advise, you need to listen to some of them voices talking to you because you crazy not listening to them. Because the system that you have created has failed. Babylon has fallen. And it's in the process of falling. It is not that something is not coming. There's a new beginning. This is not the end. This is the end of their thing, but the beginning of ours. Because our ancestors brought us into this world for us to return back to our ancestors to make Africa great again.
That's right.
And we were brought here. You know, there's a piece that I do in a documentary titled Out of Darkness.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Where I talk about we as African people today have the DNA of the pyramid builders. But when we were doing great things and everything was wonderful, our ancestors and the Creator said, to get a full picture of life, I can't leave you like this. You know heaven, you talk about what you think hell is. And by the way, hell was depicted as the lake of fire with 4 baboons on either side of the pool, where if you did not live a good life, you were sent into the lake of fire. That's where they got the concept of hell being hot. But hell wasn't hot with oxygen. Hell was hot because it was scalding water, because the universe is water and you return back to everything that you came from. So the idea of hell was not a hot place. It was, well, it was hot, but it was scalding water that boiled your bones. But those 4 baboons were not devils. Those 4 baboons were the protectors of Amenta. They were the protectors of heaven to make sure those that went into the scalding water did not come out. It's a totally different way of looking at the baboons, because everybody's saying that those were the devil's protectors to make sure.
Right.
They were not. They were the protectors of heaven to make sure that the evil did not get out of the scalding water.
Wow. Wow. You know, I remember John Lennon said something to Muhammad Ali years ago. He said, the more real you get, the more unreal this gets.
Wow, he said that.
He said that to Muhammad Ali years ago.
Okay.
You know, I heard that quote and I was like, whoa. I said, man, no wonder they said they took him out, so to speak. They had him taken out. But that is a deep subject, and just going into that world. Remember the songs that they used to tell us: "Roll, roll, roll your boat gently down the stream.
That's right.
Merrily, 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 life is but a dream."
There we go.
They used to teach us this stuff, and I used
right.
to ponder, like when I was a child, I'm like, "What? Life is but a dream." I'm like, man, because when I go in the dream world, I can fly, I travel. I go all over the place. I go into the nebulas of dark space, and I have ancestors guiding me. And then I have to come back. One time, Baba, I didn't want to come back, and I knew I probably would have died in my sleep. But the spirit guide that was with me said, "Your mission is not up yet," and pulled me back to my body. And I woke up crying like a baby. This is like 5 years ago, and I woke up crying like a baby. And I was like, damn, they was taking me. I was going through planets. I was going through different places, and I was just going. And it's like I knew where I was going. Like I was heading to like the Orion's belt or somewhere. I was heading somewhere. And they said, no, your mission. And I said, I don't. And I said in my mind, I don't want to come back. And the guide said, no, your mission is not up yet, in my right ear, and pulled me back in. Wow. And I realized, I said, and I cried like a baby when I came back to this realm. Damn.
but there's one day after a long, healthy, healthy life.
Yes, sir.
There will come a time when you will return.
Yes, sir. And I will return.
But right now, you're not ready.
That's right.
You have work to do.
That's right.
Aisha got work to do. KABA got work to do. We got work to do. The people who are listening got work to do.
That's right.
But if you don't have that knowledge, then you cannot, you got to be in it to win it. You have to be introduced to these concepts. It's like if you're in a totally dark room.
Yes.
I tell this story all the time.
Yes.
You're in a totally dark room, can't see a thing. All of a sudden you find the light switch and you see the chairs, the sofa, the TV, the computers, everything. The question is, did all those things appear in the room when you turn the light on? No, they were always there. Your light just wasn't on.
That's right. That's right.
Well, that's the way the human mind is. You have the Akashic records. You have the totality of all knowledge that's ever existed, existing now, and will ever exist. You have that within your space-time continuum.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to find a light switch to turn it on to see that it's in your mind. That's why, as an educator, that's why I say don't believe a word I say. That's why I say it's a theory, not a theorem. Because what I tell the people, and I say this is something that we all have to realize. Only you can turn your light switch on. An educator can facilitate you knowing that there's a light switch, but they can't turn it on for you.
Okay.
Right.
They can incite you, excite you, inspire you, but they can't turn it on. Only you can do that. And so when you're dealing with astrophysicists, other human beings that are living in cognitive dissonance on purpose or by accident, there's nothing you're going to do about that. So I'm talking to 3 out of 100.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to convert nobody.
That's right.
Yeah.
Keep it
If
moving.
I want to light a fireplace,
Absolutely.
there's 12 logs in the fireplace. Some people get all frustrated and want to light all 12. No, I want to light the log closest to me and then put it in the fireplace. Number 1 will light 2, 2 will light 3, 3 will light 4, on and on. Pretty soon you have a roaring fireplace with 12 logs on fire, but you only lit the first log. So I'm just trying to reach the person closest to me. I ain't trying to convert nobody because I realize that when someone tells a perfect lie, the truth is unbelievable. And that's what we're living now. We're living an absolute lie that we have come to believe. And when someone wishes to oppress you, they will tell you a lie. They will get you to believe the lie. And then the third step is you form the habit of believing the lie. And although it's the last to be formed, it's always the hardest to get rid of because we know it's a lie. We don't believe the lie, but we've become comfortable in living the lie.
Yes.
Because responsibility is 2 words, not 1.
That's right.
It's the response to your ability. It's an action word. What are you going to do? Not what you know, what you're going to do with what you know. Because when you know better, you do better. And as people understand that if anybody were to really listen to Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson and understand the fact that Pluto is not a planet, it would throw all astronomy books out the window right now. He wrote an article about Pluto is not a planet. It's not. You have 4 inner planets, hard and crusty. You have an asteroid belt, and you have the 4 outer planets. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus,
Neptune. Right.
Okay. Uranus, Neptune, and then they got Pluto. The way I remember it is the acronym. The sentence, my very educated mother, comma, just served us 9 pizzas, pickles, whatever.
Right. Right.
And so you have just served Jupiter, served Saturn, us, Uranus, 9, Neptune. Pluto is not a planet because Pluto is smaller than our moon. And up until 1999, it wasn't the furthest planet from the sun because it had gone around Neptune. But nobody want to deal with that truth.
So it's supposed to be a satellite, so to speak.
Absolutely. It is a unique body out there because it's not supposed to be out there like that. And not just that, all the planets outside in the outer ring are gas giants. All the inner ones are crusty and small. Pluto is small and crusty. That can't be a planet just by its makeup. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I know. And getting last but not least, we and you talk about numbers, but when the physicists and all these great ones talk about that the universe is mathematics, do you agree with that?
Well, the word mathematics comes from ma'atikos. It's the double Ma'atian symbol of balance, because that's what math does. That is why you have the equal sign. Equal sign is the balance of the left side to the right side. And when you're solving an equation, 2 plus x equals 3, and you solve for x, you have to do on both sides of the equal sign the same thing. So you have to subtract 2 from the 2 and subtract 2 from the 3, and then you get x equals 1.
1. Mm-hmm.
That is measurement. And the first human beings who created math, the basic premise of math, when you get down to its lowest common denominator, is numbers. Numbers. You begin with the numbers as it relates to how many there are, 5 or 10. But then the human mind says, okay, we need to reduce that concept. So instead of me writing 10 sticks, meaning 10, I'm going to take a 1 stick and I'm going to put a 0 in the base 10. You have 1 group, 0 left over. 11 is 1 group, 1 left over.
Yes.
What we call 13 is 1 group, 3 left over. A group of 10 plus 3, 13. Now, when you get to the base 5, let's say, well, base 4, that's music, is base 4. All musicians are mathematicians.
Yes.
They live in base 4. Quarter note, half note, whole note, eighth note, 16th note. And so what they do is they deal with the world of 4. So their base 4 system is 0, 1, 2, 3. But then they have 1 group, 0 left over. So 10 is not 10. 10 really represents 1 group of something with 0 left over. So in base 4, our number 5 in base 10 becomes 1 group, 1 left over. You have 1 group of 4 plus 1, 5. 6 is 1 group, 2 left over. And you can do that for all the base from 0 to 9. Well, really from 1 to 9. You can do that. But it was the woman, the African woman, that invented math. Necessity is the mother of invention. Why would a man have to count? Internally. I'm not talking about the sun.
Right. Sun and things like they have to count for food and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. They understood that concept. I'm talking about developing the subject of numerology and mathematics and the manipulation of numbers which is calculus. Calculus is calculations.
Right. Exactly.
So that women went through their monthly cycle. And so in going through their monthly cycle, they had to prepare for it. So they created a 28, 29, 30-day cycle. That was the creation of numerology. The African woman, preparing for her monthly cycle, created mathematics. Very simple.
It's funny that you say that, because the number that says that all numbers came out of was the 0, and in numerology the 0 is the feminine principle.
Okay.
The womb of all numbers, the 0 concept. I mean, I was reading this book and they're debating about 0 point and dark ether and all that in this book called The Mystery of Numbers by Dr. Talal Ghanem. And they was debating. It was Nikolai Tesla and all these guys debating on what was dark matter and what was all that. But in numerology, the 0 represents the ether, which all numbers came out of the womb. That's why it shaped the 0 like a vortex, something coming out of.
Exactly.
It's a feminine number. It's considered a feminine energy.
Exactly.
Interesting. I see how it connects. I see what the connection here.
Okay. Now let's take it to the next level, because the lowest part of mathematics is numbers.
Yes.
Okay. And I've taught every grade and every class, so I've taught every level math. So that when you start developing in kindergarten children and you start getting symbols to represent the things, because at first you teach children by counting 10 things, then adding 1, then 11. But after a while, all those things are, those manipulators are they get in the way. So then you give symbols. Yes. So number 1 has a symbol. Number 2 has a symbol. Number 3 has a symbol. Yeah. So you don't have to keep doing all this. Yes. So it becomes symbology. And then out of that comes manipulation of the numbers you've learned, which is addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Then you get into commutative property, associative property, distributive property of mathematics. And then you keep on moving on, and then you hit in the 5th grade something called order of operation.
Order of operation, yeah.
And that's where you get the acronym PEMDAS, PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally.
Yeah,
Which says that you must perform the operation a certain way. You don't go from the first thing and go across. The first thing that you have to solve for is your parentheses. Anything in parentheses, first thing you solve. The next thing are your exponents, the E. Next, you multiply, divide, add, subtract. That's the order of operations, and that reflects directly from the earth into the heavens, because sisters looking at those numbers and looking up into the heavens began to realize that there was a celestial body that also had a 28, 29, 30-day cycle. And she also noticed that just like she went through 4 specific versions of her cycle, so did this celestial body. Went through a new moon, a full moon, a half moon. So then the sister, in developing numerology and mathematics, she then invented the calendrical system. She invented astronomy. And that's why every calendar, whether it is the 365.25, whether it is the leap year of 1,460, our ancestors had multiple calendars.
Yes.
In other words, the 365.25 is an agricultural calendar. We use that for agricultural reasons, tracing the seasons. But there's also a leap year. You know how we have leap year? Well, every 4 years we add a day. But in Africa, every 1,460 years, they added a year to the calendar. That's where leap year came from. It wasn't no leap day. We have leap day now. We don't have leap year. The original leap year was a calendar that went 1,460 years, and then at the end of that, they added a whole year to live. And then they had a 26,000 year calendar.
Yes, the precessional, right?
They lived by, and that is the precessional of the equinoxes that told them something that we should know right now. That we are now in the process of leaving the age of Pisces, moving into the age of Aquarius, for those that want to say it like that.
Misnomer Aquarius, misnomer Aquarius.
But it's the age of Hapi.
Hapi, right.
But it was sisters that were able to, every one of those 3 calendars is based, just like the second, somewhat, now it's a little different, but the second is what is our clock. Numbers is to math, and the lunar cycle is to every calendar. Every lunar cycle is, every calendar is based on the lunar cycle. Sisters, thank you very much for your genius.
Give them a round of applause. Give them a round of applause. And one more last thing, Baba. I was listening to Robert Kiyosaki, and he had a European on there saying that from your studies, do you believe that the 0 came out of India? Because I believe Kemet and Africa understood the 0. They just didn't teach on that, but they keep on saying that it came out of India. What is that connection? Because I know India was connected to us at one point.
Oh, there's no question. Kushites, India are the Kushites. General Ganges, who they named the Ganges River after, it was Kushite. This was before the Indo-Europeans came out of the mountains to the north.
Right.
It was already established in the civilizations that we today call Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa. They were already in existence. They already had calendars. They already had all of this. Same thing when you get to Mesopotamia and all the other Sumer and all those places. Africans were already there. They developed it all. It wasn't until about 2000 BC that these Indo-European barbarians came down and attempted to conquer the melanated people. However, if you look at the Shabaka stone, and if you look at what sits atop the pyramid, you got your 0 right there. The atum is the symbol for the 0, because it's not 0. There's no such thing as nothing.
Right, exactly.
Nothing is something you just can't see.
That's right. Exactly. Exactly.
no such thing as zero. Zero don't exist. To have nothing. When you are at the point where you have nothing, that's the point where you have everything.
Mm.
And the reason why you think you ain't got nothing is because you can't see nothing because you stuck and stupid. I'm sorry. That's just what I got to say. Sorry, but
Empress Aisha, you have anything before I close out? Do you have anything you
I do. I really want to be clear on why did you pick Shabaka? Who is exactly Shabaka?
Shabaka is a Neset Biti, a pharaoh of the 25th dynasty. He followed in his family's footsteps. The 24th dynasty were chasing the Indo-European and all of the collaborators out of Kemet because they didn't want them to come down into Kush. So they started moving south. And so Alara, A-L-A-R-A, is the Neset Biti who we first see going into Kemet to push these Indo-European and collaborators back north. He dies. His brother Kashta takes over.
Okay.
Kashta is the last Neset Biti of the 24th dynasty. Kashta has sons. His oldest son, Pianki, starts the 25th dynasty, and he keeps the push to move up further. His brother, after he dies, Shabataka, he dies. And then now Shabaka is now going to come. Shabaka is the one that reunites Upper and Lower Kemet with Kush. But when he gets to Memphis, he comes upon this document. And this document is so important to him, he says, oh, no. We have to rewrite this. But we have to rewrite this for all time. You know the proverb, written in stone?
Yes.
Meaning the final word? Well, that's where it comes from. Shabaka said, no, we can't let nothing happen to this document. It's too important. So we are going to refurbish it, and we're going to bring new knowledge to it that we have learned since it was written. The Shabaka stone, when you bring it down to its lowest common denominator, is the one single universal answer to all challenges we face as a human family on this planet Earth.
Wow.
And if we understand what the Shabaka stone is telling us, and to the family, let me recommend, before you even, which I hope you would do, get the books on Amazon, read the reviews. Read the reviews of these books and how the community and the readers have reacted to them. That is my most important concept. That is what I bring to the table with the most pride. Because when I read those comments about what the book has done for them and what they're able to do once they read that book, the contacts, emails, the things that people tell me, I know that I met my divine purpose in writing those books. Because like I say, Sister Aisha and Brother King Simon, I'm really not a writer. I've always considered myself, my thoughts come out better through my mouth than they do through my hand.
Yes.
But there was something that I had to say.
Yes.
I'm not a writer because I write books not because I'm a writer, but because I have something to say.
Yeah.
I will never waste your time, and I will never waste mine. It's the most precious thing we have. But for us to get out of this situation that we find ourselves in, the first thing that we have to realize is the two cosmic laws. The first law says each and every one of us is the creator having a human experience.
Yeah.
Don't look for the creator out there. And you ain't got to give nobody no money to talk on your behalf to a creator that they created so that they can get that Lex. The second commandment is to treat all of the creator's creations as you treat yourself. Because if you love yourself, you will love all of the creator's creations. It's only when you hate yourself, don't know yourself, that you hate others and don't know others. Self-knowledge is first. Go deep inside. And all of this stuff out here is nothing. We can handle this. We've handled this before. Look at what we did. We just celebrated, if you want to call it that. What happened in Tulsa? Everybody talking about, oh, them people lazy. You need to stop asking for things. But look at what you do to us when we do.
Yep.
Okay. Gap Band, Greenwood, Archer, and Pine.
Yep.
Gap Band song. You dropped the
Yep.
bomb on me.
Dropped the bomb on me.
Uncle Charlie. Anthony Browder brought that to my attention. I never realized that.
That's right. Yeah. Yep. He did say that.
And they're from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yep.
Family, we can do this. And we don't need other people's permission. But first, we have to start within. The Trinity that I have written is an attempt to go deep inside yourself, to find that Messiah.
Yes.
That's going to defeat that Judas.
That's right.
Yeah, you have every right to fall. That's life. But you have no right not to get up.
That's right.
Fall 9, but rise 10.
Yes, sir.
I like that.
Baba, I want to thank you very much for coming through. I want to thank you very much and honor, of course, and love to your beautiful family, especially your beautiful Empress, the one, the only Shari, and Empress Shari, of course. People's asking for your Cash App. Do you have Cash App? Can I put it up here real quick?
Cash App is my email. It is $sign KABA KAMENE. KABA Kamene. $sign KABA Kamene 7, the number 7.
7. And your PayPal is your email, right?
PayPal is my email.
Okay, so I got that already. Okay, so people know that his Cash App, this is his Cash App right here, family. That's KABA Kamene 7. That's his Cash App. His email is in this. I've been showing this email throughout the whole thing. That's his PayPal. That's Kamene777 at AOL, correct?
Yes.
That's it. .com. Now, please show him some love, spread some love. Like I always say, spread love, spread love, family. Spread love, not hate. Spread balance, spread love. Let's spread this love, family, because he's done a wonderful job again. Let's give him a well-deserved round of applause for coming in. I know he's going to be still up studying, knowing him. Me too.
Oh, I got work to do, man. This is my prime time. I ain't even need breakfast yet.
Me too.
I'll just say something, my brother King, and to my sister, and to all of our brothers and sisters as it relates to ourselves moving forward. Dynasties are built on families.
Yes.
And we have to become committed to each other.
Yes.
Because if you can walk away from your mate or your children, you can walk away from the nation.
Yes.
And keep in mind, don't make love. Let love make you.
Wow.
I love that.
That's something to think about, family. That is something to think about, man. That's something. And one thing, KABA, how's your son doing with his music? Is he still doing his music?
Oh, yeah, brother. He's doing some wonderful things. And I got to give brother credit. He's my Instagram tech. He the one to help me in all my technology. I'm so proud of all that Haru is doing. Our daughters are doing well, banking and social work. But Haru, I brought him with me. He's coming to Chicago with me next Saturday.
Good.
Because we're going to keep that connection in place, because like I tell people all the time, we need to hire our own people.
Yes.
And one of the first things we can do is hire our own family.
That's right. Start with
the family.
That's right.
And
That's right.
Because like Amos Wilson said, why should our children respect us if for everything they need, they have to go to someone that don't look nothing like us?
That's right.
That is so true.
That's right.
We need the support. If they need a job in the summertime, we ought to find a job for them.
Ought to find a job for them.
Somehow, some way. But again, family, I understand what we've been through, and I understand what we are going through. But once you are in it, you will win it. And once you understand what you can do, what your power is. See, our ancestors, you don't have to go back to ancient Egypt or ancient Kush for a classical African civilization. You can go to the plantation of the Caribbean, Central South America, the United States and Canada. Those Africans were classical Africans. You can go to the civil rights movement. That's a classical African civilization. Hey, fam, you can go hip hop. Hip hop is a classical African civilization. We tend to think we got to go all the way into the past to bring our glory out when we're living in our own glory.
Exactly.
We got this.
Yes, we do.
No, we got it. And please don't say you're going to take power back. Because the power they got in their hand, you don't want that power.
That's right.
You already got the power. All you got to
Exactly.
do is assume it. Don't take back power from them, because the power you're going to get back from them is going to put you back on the plantation.
Exactly.
You need to understand you are the power.
That's right.
And power is the ability to find someone's reality and have that person accept that definition as if it were their own.
That's right.
The second day of Kwanzaa, Kujichagulia, self-determination. Determine for yourself who you are, not just as an African, but as a human. Who are you? What is your gift? What were you put here for? And then do your thing.
That's right.
And do it your way. Because when all is said and done, you're responsible for what the outcome is. And everybody that's been telling you what to do, they're going to tell you, you didn't have to listen to me. And you sitting there. Do your thing your way.
That's right.
Have no regrets. Because everything that has happened to us, Empress Aisha, King Simon, and Brother KABA, everything that we have experienced, good and not so good.
Yes, sir.
It's what brings us June 2nd, 12:16 a.m. or June 3rd,
June 3rd
a.m. has brought us here. I have no regret, because there's no better place I want to be than with my sister Empress Aisha and my brother King Simon and everyone who is on board here in our conversation. I was born to be here today.
That's
and
right.
That's right.
I love you, and I respect you. I honor you.
Me too.
And I know that we got to keep on keeping on, because it ain't over till we win.
Ain't no overdo it. Thank you very much, Baba. One love all the time. One love, one aim, one destiny all the time, man. And I can't wait. Can't wait. We got to see each other, Baba. You know the deal.
All power to the people.
Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Baba.
Thank you. All right. That's our brother, Baba. KABA HIAWATHA KAMENE, man. Love him, man. Love him. Love him, love him, love him, love him, love him, love his energy. Love his energy all the time. Make sure, family, you go and support him. Make sure 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 you go and support him. Cash App, KABA KAMENE 7. If you want to send PayPal, maybe you don't have Cash App across the seas, go to the email that's on here. His email is kamene777@aol.com. That's his PayPal. That's his PayPal. You can do that. Hit him up on IG. He does answer his IG if you want to interview him or whatever. If you're out there, KABA KAMENE, or email him. And of course, his Facebook is KABA KAMENE, and his website. Support his website, of course. Make sure you support the website, KABAKAMENE, of course.com. And if you want to take his classes, reasonable every month. If you go on that website right now, shockmetaphysics.com, and put in the code SHOCK, you'll get the price from $30 down to $14 and some cents. And you get to support the classes of all the great Babas on there, and show some love. And remember, you can get all of his books on Amazon, family. This is his book here. Of course, I have the book honoring Professor William Leo Hansberry. Of course, this book right here, Spirituality Before Religion. And of course, last but not least, the Trinity. This book right here, Shabaka's Stone.
Wow.
Very good books, I'm telling you. I'm studying like crazy. And just want to remind everybody that tomorrow, we got our dear sister coming in from the Amen-Ra squad. She's not only a scientist in electrical engineering, but she's also a sister in consciousness and in the sciences. Dr. Oya Ma'at is coming in the building tomorrow. And then we have another beautiful sister coming in on Sunday, alternative and energetic medicine with Mama Oracle from out of Montreal, Canada. She studied under Dr. Africa. That's where I met her with Dr. Africa and Dr. Melanie Stevenson. We have the One Mama Oracle on Sunday, June the 6th. That's going to be at 9 p.m. right here on King Simon Presents, and also on Facebook. Remember, subscribe. Click the bell to be notified. And don't forget, in the month of June, we turned up. We got King Randall coming on June the 9th. June the 13th, we got Amen Ra Valentine, Dr. Valentine's son. Zion Lex coming in on the 16th, Tupac's birthday, June the 16th. And then on Thursday, June the 17th, we have Sacred Secret before I head on down to Georgia to do Altar Candy. I'm supposed to be doing Altar Candy with Sacred Secret and Brother Blue Pill and all the other great hosts and great people that's going to be at Altar Candy in Atlanta, Georgia. So I'll be in Atlanta, Georgia for Father's Day weekend, family. So expect me to have some books, have some fun, and do what I do with the Numerovation, baby, because I'm here to numerovate you so you can maximize, activate your numbers. My sister, let's go through these. How you feeling, sis? How you enjoyed that? Did you enjoy that?
Yes, of course. Yes.
Oh man, that was a fresh glass of vegan wine. KABA was a fresh glass of vegan wine, family. Believe that when I say. And he did a great job. First of all, sister, big up your products. Let's go to your products first. Talk about your products, beautiful, please.
Okay. All right. Okay. I love this part. I get kind of a little shy when it comes to this part too at the same time. But sisters, listen, have fun, enjoy yourselves. Let's blossom together. Let's represent. My signature creation are the floral earrings. I can't see like what side am I showing on myself, but I have one now, as you have seen.
You have one. Let me take it off and so people can see that. Go ahead. Oh yes, very beautiful. There's only one you have on. You have two of them. You have two different earrings, right?
I have two different earrings on, but just one.
Okay, just one. Okay.
And actually, this one, let me not even take credit for this particular one, but this one was when I had given show my sister friend how to create them, and she did a wonderful job. So I will be giving lessons. So you all can know how to do it yourselves, so that we can all blossom together. We all have our unique styles and flavors and stuff. So yeah, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna have fun. But if you interested in any pairs, just hit me up on Instagram. 1million_dormants. The Instagram page. That's the only way you can reach me. There's no stores right now, so my shop will be us one-on-one. We're gonna be doing it one-on-one.
And you got the email Empress Aisha Moore at Gmail, and you got the Cash App to spread love. That's $ Cash App. Empress Amore, of course. We want to shout that out all the time, and we respect that. We want to thank you for doing your lovely job, and the questions that you've given, that was great. Always giving the balance. That's great. Also, don't forget, we had these people on Saturday, Better Health Shop, and people are coming in on Better Health Shop, man. They are not stopping on Better Health Shop. They got the burdock root, they got the monatomic gold, they got all of that good stuff. So make sure you go to their Etsy web shop. That's betterhealthshop.etsy.com, and they have a 1-800 number that you can text, or you can call them and leave a voicemail, but you can text them at 1-800-820-7822. I'm thinking about getting 1-800 text number too myself. That's my next thing, so people can do it for free wherever they are all over the world. 1-800-820-7822. That is the number to get caught up in the better health, because if you take care of yourself with a better health, you'll be all right. I'm telling you. All right. Also, get my books. My books are available. All 4 of my books. The No Promotion is Bad Promotion. Numbers Are Simple, People Are Complicated. Numbers Are Simple, Our Children's Health is Important. And Numerovation for Mental Stability. As a matter of fact, family, in the background, I got at least another 15 or 20 books. I just got 20 books in the background, the soft cover. Right now, it's $25 if you want to get them. I will sign these because if you go through Amazon or Kindle, which is on my link tree, family, if you go through Amazon and Kindle, you won't get them signed. But if you want them signed, $25 right now on the shelf. I got like 2, 4, 6, 8. I got 16 books right now on sale, and I will sign them $25 each. All you have to do is send me a Cash App and send me a mailing address, or you can send me the you can actually send me a PayPal also. So let me put that up there just in case you do want to go through. Here's the Cash App right here, family. If you want to find send something via Cash App, that's $King Simon 3158, and I will sign that copy. $25. I will pay for the shipping and handling. That's what I can do, but it's $25 if you want it signed, special signature. You know me, it's King Simon. You know how we do. Or you can actually, if you want to, you can actually text me. You can text me also at 347-496-1022, or PayPal me and then put your mailing address in the PayPal description of the note section, and I can do that, or text me your address after you pay the Cash App. $25, and I got 16 books left right now, because if I don't sell that, I'm taking it down to Georgia. I did send a box of hardcover books down to Georgia, so I don't have any hardcover books right now. Strictly soft cover. The hardcover books cost more, but hey, we got them ready for you. Those are the soft covers. And let's go to my son, who was also here. Big up to my son. Big up to Taki Grant from Hoppy Films, who was also on the live too on Facebook. Big up to my girl Beverly was also. Charleston was also on the live. An old friend of mine from school, she was there. And if you want to get my son's music, bang, that's his music platform. Make sure you support my son, Prince Imagine, my firstborn, me and his beautiful mom. Big up to him and her. They're also doing some music together in North Carolina, so enough respect. She's a singer and I was a singer. I sang reggae, she sang R&B, and that's where he got that voice from. So it is what it is. So make sure you support my son. I went up to number 5 in the chart, and she was just doing the charts and making it happen. So big up to her, and singing, backup singing, and all that she was doing. So enough respect to her. Also, here is Janelle Lewis, licensed real estate salesperson and consultant. This is a family affair, believe me, family. And I'm not afraid to say it now. This sister is my last son's mother, Janelle Lewis. That's my last son's mother, my 15-year-old. This is my last son's mother. You know, I find all these beautiful sisters, and this is one of my, and of course, I'm supporting her business too. I said, you know, from now on, I'm just going to tell it, because I support their businesses. All right. I support their love. I support my children's business. So whenever any one of my children, and if Empress Aisha's children get their business together, I will support that too. That's how you're supposed to do it in a family. This is a family affair. Support. She is a real estate consultant. Give her a text, 347-866-1153. That's 347-866-1153, and tell her King Simon sent you, and she will show you how to get your first property, get your first whatever, condo, whatever, especially throughout the tri-state area of New York City. If you want to take let me go back to my teacher. Let me go to my teacher first. Lloyd Strayhorn, one of my teachers in numerology, astronumerology. Go take his classes, his basic beginner's class, and then take his intermediate class. And I believe he got a palmistry class coming up soon on his course. So I think he needs to do that. I suggested that, and he's all for it. Put it on Udemy. But make sure you go to lloyd-strayhorn.com if you want to do a reading, a session, whatever. This is the man to talk to. And if you want to take my classes, I am going to be starting officially filming my classes. I have one of my partners in Vibes, another Numerovator that's coming up. So her name is Sister E-Toy. She's going to be coming up, and she's going to be helping me to coordinate with class and record these classes so I can have them ready for all of you by June 22nd. So June 22nd, my 9-piece course is coming out. That's a 9-piece, 30-minute each piece is going to be 30 minutes. A 9-piece course will be coming out on June the 22nd, which is my grandmother's 104th birthday. So I got to put it out there. And that's going to be holistic numerovation. That's coming out. And don't forget, make sure you check out my beautiful sister, Dr. MJ. I spoke to her today. Big up to Dr. MJ from drpedalwise.com. She loved what I'm doing. She watched what I'm doing. She paying attention. Florida is beautiful out there. And I can't wait to get this spot in Florida. Me and another partner of mine is going to get a spot in Florida so we can go back and forth for the winter. And of course, pedalwise.com. Make sure you go get the womb sweep. She's working on those fibroids. She's been helping sisters with fibroids, helping sisters to get pregnant. All of that stuff she's been doing. She got some great testimonials on her website, pedalwise.com, and make sure you get that 10% off coupon, King 2021. That's King 2021. Use the coupon and they will help you out. I'm telling you, family, enough respect to Dr. MJ and the whole crew. We're going to have her back on soon to talk about those great people that are supporting, and actually the fibroids are going down because of her and what she's been doing, the treatments and the herbs that she's been doing. So that's a beautiful thing. Also, if you want to do a numerovation session with me, I don't play with my numerovation, baby. It's all about consultation. It's not about reading you. I'm helping you to maximize and activate your number so you can take it to the next level. It's all about the work with me, because numerology is applied mathematics. You just have to learn how to apply the numbers and they will guide you and help you, but you got to be willing to put in the work. Stop playing. Don't be a jerk. Put in the work. Don't be a jerk. Put in the work, family. That's what it's all about. And if you live outside of the United States, I repeat, if you live outside of the United States, please use WhatsApp. If you live outside of the United States, text me via WhatsApp. Again, if you live outside of the United States, in Canada, in Africa, in the Caribbean, in England, if you live outside the United States, please text me via WhatsApp and we will make it happen over Zoom or StreamYard. And last but not least, family, content disclaimer. As much as I love Baba Kaba and I love everybody else, I tell people, content disclaimer: the views, comments, and opinions expressed by guests, speakers, or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. I gotta respect, because it's all about watching your backside and making sure your back is watched and protected. And that's why I do this regularly, because I come from a radio background and a television background. I was the first, my team had the first Caribbean broadcast on C-SPAN 2 when they was just coming up. So I know this stuff. You know what I'm saying? C-SPAN 2 is now big on news and everything else. But when they was first coming out, we went on C-SPAN 2 throughout New York City. Caribbean, our show was called Caribbean Soul TV, and I was the host. And then it was another brother that came on after me, but it's just me. It was a team of us, my cousin and Greg Winters. Big up to Rob West, my cousin Greg Winters. And then when I left it to go into the hosting fields of the major shows, then they had somebody else take over after me. But I keep it moving. That's how we do it, you know. My sister, you ready for the prayer?
I'm ready for the prayer. I'm ready. You know what? I also wanted to give you a shout out, because I love how you're supporting your family.
Oh, thank you.
You know, I love how you put your life on. You know, how you just shared the love with your youngest son's mother.
Yes.
Now look, I love that. Like,
any one of them want to sponsor, I don't want no money from her. I just want to help her out, because that's what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't let her. I said, look, if you make any from what I do, give it to my son's account and give him that portion of it. Keep it moving. And any one of them I'll do it with. Any one of them I'll do it with. That's just how I am. Always been like that. Now, I always want to see, if you're with a woman and you're not willing to enhance them and take them to the next level, then you're not supposed to be with that woman. Even if you're with them or not, they still had your children. No matter what we went through and the disagreements and all that kind of stuff, child support, all that. I went through all of that with them. But I didn't go, not with this one. I never, but my son's mother, the one that I'm advertising, I had no problems. Now we're still good friends. We still talk. She still called me to consult, and I console her in certain things. And that's what it's supposed. They still supposed to be your friends. All of my children's mother are my friend, and I have 6 of them, 6 children's mothers. I don't call them baby mamas. 6 children's mother. I don't call them kids. Kids are goats. I don't call them kids. Those are goats. I don't call my children baby goats. Never. I'm not into that foolishness. You know what I'm saying? That means you're giving them over to the animal god, the goat god. So I don't do that stuff. They are children, my children's mother, and that was the vortex that my children came through. I planted the seed, and the vortex that came through that womb, which Dr. Ben used to call heaven on earth, the black woman womb, heaven on earth. That's why a lot of black men are trying to go back to heaven all the time. we gonna keep on going to heaven. We love heaven. I love heaven. That's what I don't know about everybody else, but I know I love heaven. Praise the Lord for heaven. You ready for prayer time, girl? Ready for prayer time?
Ready for the prayer time.
Oh man, but thank you very much for shouting me out. I received that.
Everyone who gave a shout out to my daughter's birthday. Say much love to everyone who showed up, to my brother who popped in. Much love to you. Much love to everyone.
Great. Oh man. And I got to remind people that you're bringing in a beautiful sister named Joycelyn Brown on the 13th also. That's going to be having a kiddies fashion show too. I'm just waiting to, I think you sent me the flyers. You sent me a picture too. You sent me a picture. So I'm going to design that stuff this weekend, and then we're going to have that up right here, up on the thing. So I'm going to design that because providing fashion shows and different things for children is a beautiful thing. I used to have a modeling agency, so I understand that, but not for children. It was more adults. But sometimes you want to show the children that they're beautiful because this society promotes that they're ugly through the dolls and all the other madness. I still see those type of clips up there where the little girl is crying because she thinks she's ugly. And I was that child as a little black boy, the darkest person in the family. That's why I almost thought about taking my life at 8 years old, because I didn't know if my mother not my mother, but I didn't know if my family loved me, and I didn't know if my friends loved me, and they was always dogging my complexion, and that's what made me want to go that way. And you remember what Baba just said about the ancestors speaking to you? I swear to you, Aisha, that the ancestors was yelling in my ears when I thought about doing it at 8 o'clock. At 8 years of age, I had a razor blade. I still have the mark on my hand. Had a razor blade on my hand and cutting my wrist. And the ancestors said, "What are you doing?" I mean, in my head, they just said, "What are you doing? You're going to miss your grandmother. You're going to miss your mother. You're going to miss your father. What are you doing?" And I threw the razor blade back into the cabinet and cried and ran into my room and cried. I didn't know what was going on in the darkness of that bathroom. I just the door was cracked, and I just knew I was going to take it out. And that's why you got to check on your children and be careful what you say to your children, because we like to say sticks and stones will break our bones, but names will never hurt us. That's a goddamn lie.
Yes. Words
is power, and it cuts through things like a knife. And you might not even know what you're saying to your daughter, calling them worthless and this, or you calling them, saying your son that you're just like your father, you're this, you're that. You gotta. That's why I had to get both sides of the story. I couldn't, because I almost killed my father. And now me and my father are good friends. I'm interviewing him about his life next week because I know he's going there. And then I'm going to interview my mother because my mother is going there. I interviewed my grandfather, found out he was a friend of Marcus Garvey and helped Marcus Garvey. And he died at 104. Then I had my other great grandfather, my step grandfather, who was a when you ask the questions and interview your elders, you find out a lot. Found out that my step grandfather on my father's side, he was Castro's chef, Fidel Castro's chef during the revolution. You gotta ask them these questions. You gotta talk to them. Then you know what's going on in your blood, what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Find out your history. Don't be afraid. Ask your elders, ask your mama, ask your grandparents, ask them the question. I don't care if you don't like them no more. You ain't talking to them. Forgiveness is the highest form of healing.
It is.
You got to forgive, let go, and grow. Because they had traumas before you were born. They had a trauma before you were born, so they couldn't be the very best to you. That's why I had to forgive my father. I'm still forgiving. I forgive my mother because I felt I was abandoned because she kept on going to work at night and leaving us there. And he had to work at night and leaving us there and had babysitters there. We gotta get this right, or we're gonna keep on falling. And that's why it, like Baba Kaba said, it ain't over till we win. So I plan on winning. I don't know about you. I plan on winning. That's why I'm still here and thought about it 3 times in my life, thought about taking my life. And I'm still here because I'm supposed to be here talking to you and doing numerovation for you to give you guidance through the numbers connected to your birthday. From my heart. That's why I created numerovation for mental stability. That's all it's about for me. Let's get into prayer, girl, so we can close out because I got some more work to do. I'm on this soapbox, and this soapbox is breaking right now. It's actually going down. So let's go to this prayer. All right, everybody follow us in the prayer as our beautiful Empress Aisha lead us with a prayer that was founded by Dr. Delbert Blair. Let's give him some honors first. Let's give him some honors. Our late ancestor, our great ancestor who transitioned. Go to his website, go to his legacy shop and support his books. He got his books out. Go to the metacenter2.com. That's the Metacenter 2. He got books that he written before he died, and they put it out after he transitioned. Go and get his Faraday protectors, his magnets, his diodes. All of that is still there on his website. Show Dr. Blair some love. Prayer time. Go ahead, my sister. Prayer time.
Yes.
Yes.
Give thanks, family. Let's give thanks. Give thanks. All right. Deep breath in. And exhale. Please, Universal Creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet on which I live now. Please open my mind, my spirit, and my soul to receive only truth in your love now.
Say it for the people in the back, sister. Come on.
Let's say for the people in the back. All right, family, let's do this together, collectively. Please, Universal Creator, know in our hearts that we love you. Please protect us and this planet on which we live now. Please open our minds, our spirits, and our souls to receive truth in your love now. To receive only truth in your love now.
Asheo, 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 Baba, Delbert Blair, love you, Asheo. Remember, when you clap, you create a vortex. Try clapping in your house and you start hearing those echoes. You start hearing the vortexes. We don't clap like this, actually. Dr. Africa said we used to clap like this.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Rhythm. That's that. I can hear the vortex now. There's a vortex right here. I can hear it right here in my room. So I'm telling you, family, there's our ancestor understood the clap. Understood that. My sister, thank you very much for sharing that and showing that love as usual. Give Empress Aisha a more well-deserved round of applause for being who she is and what she does and the ancestry that she comes from also. Enough respect to your whole family and all your ancestors, all those millions of ancestors that Baba KABA talked about for 400 years back. And there's more beyond that.
Yes. We did.
Isn't that deep? Wasn't the numbers deep?
That number, I got to go back and rewind and write those numbers down.
Yeah, and he said the website that sent it to him too, how they did the calculation all the way back 400 years and beyond. So you can go further. So think about that. Think about that person 400 years ago, and then all the 400 years before that. Think about that. It's the numbers are that's why I say numbers are infinite. You could keep on counting and then die, come back and still be counting, and the numbers will still be going. That's just numbers. You know what I'm saying? So God speaks in numbers. God speaks multiple language. That's one of the language that God speaks in, numbers. My sister, I love you, and I'll talk to you later. You be safe and stay strong. Okay, sis?
Right, you too.
All right. Give her a round of applause, family. That's our sister, Empress Aisha. That's my sister. All right, family. We closing out. Woo! I'm out of here, family. Yeah. I love you. I respect you. And don't forget tomorrow. Later on tonight at 8 p.m. we got sister Dr. Oya Ma'at coming in. Adwa Oya Ma'at coming in. Sisters in Consciousness and the Sciences. And don't forget on Sunday, we got Mama Oracle from out of Montreal, Canada. Mama Oracle from Montreal, Canada. Mama Oracle from Montreal, Canada. That's Sunday, June 6th on the 9th p.m. Yo, alternative and energetic medicine gonna be right here on Sunday. And the rest of the month is gonna be like this. You see all these people right here? You see all these people right here? Woo! You see all these people right here? Uh-huh. After Mama Oracle, we got King Randall from out of Albany, Georgia, talking about the land and everything he's doing out there. Also, we got Amin Ra Valentine, Dr. Valentine's son, choreographer. He's an actor. Great things are happening to him. You see him on Law and Order, too. You'll see him on Law and Order if you watch Law and Order. We got Zion Lex, my brother, great brother, Zion Lex coming in. And then we got Sacred Secret coming in. But don't forget, we got Sister Joycelyn Brown. I'll be adding her to the flyer. She's doing a big presentation for children, fashion shows, and all that. So we're going to have all that happening right here in June. In the month of July, we got something hot for you also. In the month of July, I got something hot. It's going to be fire, people. Don't even mess with me on the month of July. I ain't playing with none of y'all in July. You know what it is. Woo! So, in the immortal words of Marcus Mosiah Garvey, up, you mighty nation, you can accomplish what you will. One aim, one love, one aim, one destiny. And in the immortal words of Marcus Mosiah Garvey, like I just said, in the name of the words of the one, the only Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, we got, remember, regardless of land, label, or language, there's but one God. So family, respect the one God in you, because we are gods having a human experience. I'm out of here. Peace. Woo!
Rockers Movement presents the 2021 Miami Reggae Festival, healing the community with sound system culture. Saturday, August 7th and Sunday, August 8th, with music by Stone Love Movement, Bass Odyssey, King Addies International, Soul Supreme, Warrior Sound International, Downbeat the Ruler from New York City, King Waggy T, and many more. Hosted by Mutabaruka. Saturday, August 7th and Sunday, August 8th, at the brand new RER Marketplace, next to the Opalaka Flea Market. For more info, visit MiamiReggaeFestival.com. Celebrate Jamaica's independence and sound system culture.
Hey, this is King Simon. Remember, make sure you go to my website, KingSimonProductions.wordpress.com. That's KingSimonProductions.wordpress.com, or Linktree at King Simon the Numerovation. Get all 4 of my books, and of course, that's the Numerovation for mental stability. Numbers are simple, people are complicated. Numbers are simple, children's health is important, and no promotion is bad promotion. Just spell my name right. Make sure you get them now on all my links. That's KingSimonProductions.wordpress.com. Go now.